Welcome to Navigation Studios, everybody. I am Wesley, here with the real brains of this operation. Anthony.
You're too modest. Yeah.
We're here at Navigation Studios bringing you guys the Red Pill Phone Tap. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 1.
Number 1 in the house.
Wow.
We finally did it.
We finally did it, man. We finally did it. We've been talking about this forever. And then we finally make it a reality thanks to the great advances in technology. Anthony, how's your day been going today, man?
Man, besides this cold weather chilling my bones, man, I'm feeling tremendous.
I'm going to give everybody out there in Radio Land full disclosure. We are both Houstonians. That is the home base of this podcast. And cold weather to us here is anything below 50 degrees.
Yeah. No doubt.
So we're struggling. We're struggling over here. I had to put on a jacket today. Yeah, man. Other than the cold weather, man, it's been a great day. Bringing to you guys live the Red Pill Phone Tap, which has been a passion project for us for years. And Anthony and I, you and I talked about how we're going to start this, and we actually did do a pilot episode for ourselves, so that we didn't come on here completely inept. Which I think you and I were pretty happy with, but I think the thing we thought we left out was like a great, kind of like you said before we got started here, a great why statement.
Yeah,
why are we doing this? Because immediately, as you guys listen to the content, I know the accusations are going to come fast and furious that we're on here trolling, we're here to get clicks and support anger online. And
not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit. Anthony, I'll go first because really simply this has been something you and I have talked about. I mean, what, 2 years?
Yeah, easy.
2 years, easy. And this is all, I think you and I are coming from similar places. I know I reached a point in my life where I thought I had done everything I was told to do. I even though my parents weren't supportive of me going to college, I got out on my own. I got my college degree. I got married. I built a house. And then all of a sudden, my life wasn't working out like everyone told me it was going to work out, like in all the Disney movies.
So you mean to tell me after they said, and they lived happily ever after, they didn't tell you the after part?
They didn't tell me the after part, right? They also didn't share with me that all the things that they told me was kind of all bullshit. And it was kind of all to make them feel better about their lives. They didn't tell me the real deal, Holyfield. So let me back up. I think because everyone knows this is a Red Pill show. So that we're not accused of being trolled, Anthony. Because we're going to talk a lot about feminists, how goddamn annoying they are, how they mess up the world. But let me share with you first, since this is our introductory episode. The feminist movement had to happen because men got a little too complacent back in the 50s and 60s. They got a little too power hungry. They started treating women like shit. So things had to change, and we're not ever going to deny that. But now that the bell has swung the other way, we have just become this feminized society. And bringing it back to what I was just talking about, I was brought up in this feminized society. I followed all the feminized rules, and my life didn't end up the way it was supposed to. A couple bad relationships later, my dear friend here, Anthony, my best friend in the whole world, he introduced me to a book called the title of the book, Anthony, is Being a 3% Man. How to be a 3% Man.
Yes. How to be a 3% man.
I'm going to have to Google this as we talk because I'm butchering this. It's by
Corey Wayne.
Corey Wayne. Some people call Coach Corey Wayne. But he sent me this book, and I read it the first time, and I kind of glossed over it. And I didn't do my due diligence. I was handed this great Bible of knowledge, and I didn't heed it. So it was about 3 years later, Anthony told me yet again, go back to this book and read it. All the answers are in there. and I'm looking up the book now, guys. I'm sorry, this is terrible radio, but How to Be a 3% Man by Corey Wayne. So you went in there and you read the book, and you kind of realized men have been led astray. And some of it has been led astray by being told the wrong things. Also, men left to their own devices will fall into their own bitchy nature, right? We all want to be loved like our mother loved us, unconditionally. And then when you read this book, you find out getting love from a woman, being a man in the world, is very conditional. And this is the journey that I had to go on. And I realized when I talk to people out in the world, a lot of people haven't been taught this stuff, Anthony. You came into my life, Anthony, and taught me how to live a better life, how to become a real man. And you know, we'll talk about this a little bit more later, but swallowing the red pill, man, you were the one that kind of led me on this path to like know what the reality is. It's not what everybody's telling you, not what movies are telling you, not what romantic comedies are telling you, not what all the, God forbid, the sitcoms on television are telling you. But I realize there's a lot of people out there, Anthony, that still don't have this knowledge. So I would like the show to be like how you were to me back in the day, sharing this knowledge so we can get people back on track to being happy. And I said people, I didn't say men.
Right.
Men and women need to get back on track.
Getting this shit together.
Yeah, and this, hey, already with the comments, this isn't a Make America Great Again thing. Okay, everybody? This is talking about the relationships and dynamics between men and women. And this isn't Anthony nor myself, we're not trying to get back to the Mayberry days.
No.
We already told you. That's when men ran amok back there, too. But the pendulum has swung a little bit too far on the feminist side. And we're trying to, we're trying to be a companion to help men get their lives back on track. We're trying to be a friend in the ear, in your car, because as you swallow this red pill, your friends are not going to be happy about it. And you're not going to be able to coach them to the red pill until something terrible happens in their life like it happened to me. But, to let the listeners know who are meeting us for the first time, after getting my life on track, I have an amazing wife now. I have an amazing life now. We just had an amazing, beautiful daughter born. And I just want to help people get their life back on track like you helped me, Anthony. Anthony, what is your passion on this project?
Man, it's very much in line with yours. I mean, I still would love to just share. It's almost, man, I got the best recipe, to make your life better, and it has nothing to do with.
Don't bring that recipe to Colonel Sanders. He will steal that shit.
I'm sure he will, and make money off of it. Look, and speaking of that, my ambitions is not about making money. It's just about, because I'm a giver naturally. So the people that I care about, I easily would give this to. So I had to go through, and if I were to, I'm not gonna go too deep into my past, but if I was gonna break it down, the reason it got me to this level is that I went through a lot of pains to get to the point where I said I don't want to ever have to feel that again in my life. And what changes do I need to do to prevent this, right? So, not that everybody has to go through that level of pain to change, but that's what actually brings about change is your own internal pain and you willing to either make sure you never see that type of pain or never feel that type of pain again. So, this is just, I'm not gonna help you change your life completely. That's going to be up to you. I would just be more of a uncle, a big brother, a cousin, long lost cousin. Nobody that's going to.
It's going to be a large family reunion, my friend.
No. What I'm getting at is that you can take it or leave it. I see you. Closer to a brother than a friend, so it's easy to share, advice that I think would help benefit you. But when you talk about strangers and bringing someone in that don't know you, it's all about, hey, doing something that you feel isn't working, you might want to listen to this. You might want to find out what it is, thinking from a different perspective, because again, like you said earlier, the movies and the Disney movies and the stories that we were told when we were little kids, it's not real. It's not real. It's not legit. When you get out here and you actually follow those paths and you try to cater and put women on pedestals, you get the raw end of the deal every single time. So we're here to change that mindset, help you understand that there are different ways of thinking out here, and we're going to give you some of those viewpoints, those from our perspective.
I think we're looking at three major types of people in this podcast, and we're looking at people that are trying to prevent pain. We're looking at people that are in pain. And I think the third person that might be listening to this podcast is, I'm pulling this a little bit from that movie V for Vendetta. People that are looking at the world right now and they're saying, something's quite not right, is it? The reason that we name this the phone tap is because these are conversations Anthony and I have no fewer than 4 or 5 times a week. I mean, Jesus Christ, we were over here about to start the podcast, and we started off on a whole different conversation that we'll have to put in a podcast later. But we've got a little bit of a packed day for you guys today. There we said it. We kind of told you what the podcast is going to be about. So we're kind of hopefully saying this as a way to prevent a lot of these angry emails. We promise we're not trying to troll you guys. Ladies, we're not trying to troll you. This is for people. It's not for men. But ladies, y'all have ran amok a little bit here. And speaking of running amok, Anthony, let's get to our first topic here.
Julie means more to me than anything. And I wanted to ask you, before I ask her, may I have your permission to marry her?
You're not just marrying her, you're marrying her whole world. Shop Neil Lane diamond engagement rings at K.
Can you stop
Every
with the
kiss
bullshit?
begins with K. These motherfuckers. All right, so Anthony, this has gotten to a point where K Jewelers is now just said, hey, look, it ain't shameful that you had a failed marriage and has a kid with somebody else. Brother, what is going on with our reality right now?
That speaks, man, that speaks to so many different levels.
Oh my God, where do we begin with this? First of all,
explain the video first, so people.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I feel irresponsible. Some people probably tuned out thinking that they went to a commercial. So we have a gentleman here who he's sitting here and he's talking, and he's saying, hey, I want to ask your permission. Before I ask her, I want to ask you. And he slides the ring across like you would slide across to like a woman's father. Like, hey, check out this ring. I make pretty good money. Check this out. And then it flashes, and it's a little boy sitting there smiling. You're not just marrying her. You're marrying her whole world. Really? So it's just like, it's not even like, hey, you know what? Taking on someone's kid, it's the exception, not the rule. But man, I love you. I love your kid. You know what? Let's do this. No, it's like, go ask the kid's fucking permission? Are you insane?
And what I hate about this, it's not like she's with him and he's already had this discussion with her. And
like it's a cutesy.
It's not a family thing. This is where's her dad, by the way? Maybe he's dead. Who knows? I don't know. But this kid is his gateway, his permission asking for a kid. Where does it stop is where I want to say.
You said the best thing when I brought this up the first time. You were like, what if he said no?
Yeah. Then what? Because you already made a decision what you're gonna do, right? And of course they gonna have a kid smiling and being all accepting, but
Which is also not real life.
you know your badass kid ain't gonna just give this dude no free pass.
No.
Come on. And if he did, and even let's say this guy's been in this kid's life for 3 years, brought him, helped raise them, right? What did he need his permission for? He has a male in his life. Why would he? I don't know. It just comes from a bad point in my mind when it comes.
We're going to get beat up. By the way, it's a good time to tell you guys, if you do want to comment on this, we're going to make this show more interactive later. But if you do want to comment, easy to email us at redpillphonetap@gmail.com. That's redpillphonetap. Phone pap. It's not a phone pap, my bad. It's redpillphonetap@gmail.com. The thing that gets me on this, Anthony, is whenever it's become a thing where a man's supposed to get down on one knee and propose. So when did that become a thing? I don't know. I don't know when it became a thing. I don't like it.
I don't like the tradition either. I don't know where it came from. I don't know why it's necessary. Maybe because
that's why I gave them the email address, because I already know what they're saying. They're like, what's a problem? What's a problem making a little kid feel special? His mom and dad got divorced. What's the problem? And this is going to be a theme. Get ready, everybody. This is going to be a theme in this podcast for now till a decade from now. Just because things are nice does not mean it's reality, and it's not preparing people for reality. Ain't nobody going to ask this kid important questions in life. You know, ain't nobody going to ask him these monumental questions.
Yeah, this kid is about 7 or 8 on this video.
Oh, 100.
Yeah.
100. They strategically didn't put a middle schooler in there.
Right. Oh,
because that motherfucker hit all kinds of attitude. But the thing about it is, and this is one of the genesis of this podcast too. Anthony and I really hope this podcast helps to protect the front lines of what is normal and what is not. I mean, good God. So the getting down on one knee thing is already such a simpy, cucky move to me. Why would you, if you're going to present yourself as a strong man that can care for a woman, it literally makes no sense to get down on one knee in front of her and treat her like she's like she's the prize. Every woman wants to be with a strong man. And ladies, email us if you don't want to be with a strong man that can protect you and give you security. Go ahead and email us. I know, not all women. We're coming to that. But how is a man demonstrating to you, ladies, getting down on one knee, that he's a strong man that can give you security? I guess, get the sort of, I'm so strong
Did I have to humble myself?
that I'm going to give you this moment of humility. It doesn't seem genuine. It's fake humility.
Exactly. Do you want that?
Yeah. And by the way, fake humility is an American thing. That is a real American
It's our
thing.
culture, yeah.
People get mad that French people are, I don't know, proud about being French. They have dope stuff over there. They have amazing wine. They have beautiful women. They have great art. Why can't they be proud about being French?
I don't know if you heard, Wesley. USA is number 1. Yeah.
But then when we're when we're on camera, USA is number 1, but we've got a lot of improving to do. That fake humility.
Yes.
So that's, ladies. So is that what y'all want? Y'all want a strong man to get down on one knee? And no, it's another example, Anthony, and we have this huge problem in westernized culture. Women want men that they want. They want men that they want to do stuff men they don't want do. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look at this. 50 Shades of Grey. This, not a good example because it's a lot of bondage.
Yeah.
No, but like Drake can have any woman he wants, but he gets down on one knee and proposes to me like the simpy dude that works at H-E-B that checks me out every time I come through the checkout aisle, and he asks for my number every time. He would do that. Ladies, no man of any value should get down on one knee and propose to you. What does that tell you about how he thinks about himself?
Drake would get on both knees. To
Drake
be
would.
honest, he's simpish.
I hate to say that about Drake too. I'm a Drake fan. I love his music. I really do. And send me those emails too. Go ahead and send me the emails about how his music sucks, and I'll send you one email about how many albums he sells. Good. I mean, he's a great artist. I don't know why this is a controversy when people say they like Drake music.
That's being woker than everybody else, man. That's what that is.
No. Whenever someone dogs on your music taste or your movie taste, it's always the implication of, well, you just don't know music. Like
Right.
Music. You don't know rap music the way.
Because
I hung out with Paul Wall before he made it.
Their ears have been fucking christened by some music god or somebody.
Who's the greatest rapper of all time? I mean, to me, Lil Flip, but whatever. Look, we all love Lil Flip. No one's dogging on Lil Flip, but I mean,
Sony
Drake is an
was the
amazing.
greatest with that contract.
Lil Flip is great. I mean, but anyways, I digress. But Drake should not be getting down on one knee for anybody. I mean, he's turned himself into an entertainment god.
Well, do you say that because he is a high value man?
Yes.
And that a high value man shouldn't have to placate for a tradition? Like, what is she going to say no if he doesn't get on his knee?
Right. Okay, hold on. But hold on, Anthony. You made me think about something. And that's what we do on the show, ladies and gentlemen. If someone has a good point, we have to think about it. We don't just lean harder into our corner just because we already said what we said. You made me think about something for a second, though. Is the getting on one knee thing, is it a tradition? Is that what it is? Okay, well then that already lends itself into why I hate this K Jewelers commercial so much. I don't want it to become a tradition that you're going to go ask the kids.
Speak on it.
Permission. I'll be honest, man. I wouldn't even ask the father for permission.
Well, man, see,
I'm not dogging on people that do ask the father permission.
It's
again,
wrong.
On a tradition or a cultural level.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with your tradition, or even if that's who you are and you feel like that's what you want to do as a man, feel free to do that. Do what you want to do. Don't be pressured to follow in line what people are doing without questioning why they're doing it.
Oh, 100% I'm judging people that are asking kids permission for marriage.
No, you should.
Oh, I'm judging them.
You should. I'm saying,
let me tell you right now, and if you're out there and if you're listening to this and you asked a child for permission, you're a simp. You need to go to simp camp. You need to learn how to not be a simp.
They already been a simp.
Do not ask child's permission for anything. You're in charge. They're not.
Oh my God.
Just a heads up. And good God, I mean, if they're in charge and you're not, I hope to God you don't leave your keys to your car around the house.
What happens with this? Like, the kid, what power does this kid feel like he has now? Because he's asking him for permission.
Right.
For a relationship that he had to deal with and build on and prove to this woman that he belongs in her life and show her that he can actually be a father to or a stepdad to this kid. And he know he's getting the raw end, because I'm sure if the dad's not involved, okay, now she get child support, so he's the double dipper. He's going to be able to have to raise the kid, and if the dad comes and picks him up and tells him, hey, that's not your dad, I'm your dad, so he's going to have to fight that. But yet he's sitting here asking this kid for permission to be in his life. There's a weird freaking pathway of acceptance in that act alone. It's a mental thing, though. I think it's a mental thing. How do you see yourself?
Giving power?
Yeah.
Giving power to a child? Yes, that's a mental thing.
You would never give. I guess I see this, though. I see people give the power of their house to their kids, to their freaking dogs,
Yeah.
And they don't want the responsibility, but they'll give the power away. And as a man, women, as a man, do you want to see your man give away his power to your kid? There's no way that's attractive. If you want to be
What's the problem?
sensitive about, it's just a gesture of respect. That's all it is.
It's a gesture of you gave permission. And first time he gets mad at you because bedtime's at 9.
Exactly.
Bedtime's at 9. Now I don't want you marrying my mom. Well, it was never really ever up to you. So this was kind of a lie.
So why did you
do it?
Ain't
cool to lie to kids like that. Even if you're... And see, this is the Disney culture we live in. It's cool to lie to people as long as it's kind. I didn't want to cut you off a second ago, but I was about to. I was about to be like, this is... Anthony, you're really magical at bringing a Disney thing like this K Jeweler thing. You're really magical with like, here's the reality of what would really, really go down. And people don't want to hear that. But the reality of about how things go down, it kind of goes into our introduction. You get told through media like this, yeah, get down on one knee. Go ask the child's permission. Then 5 years later, you're going through a divorce, and you don't know why. You did everything that the civilization that you lived in told you to do, everything culturally you were told to do. How come this woman is leaving me with this kid? Now I adopted the kid. Now I got to pay child support to a kid that ain't even mine.
Ooh.
Yeah. So why because you're a simp.
Mm-hmm.
Because this civilization made you a simp. Don't ever adopt someone's kid that ain't yours.
Please don't.
Well, hold on. There is an exception. Not all women. There is an exception. There is an exception to the rule. And I'll tell you what they are. I have been involved with women. And by the way, this was when I was still a simp. Okay? So I accidentally did not simp into this. But there are situations where it's very acceptable in my eyes. You ain't got to do what I tell you to do. But in my eyes, if the father is not in the picture at all, then you can look at this very charitably like this boy or girl needs a strong masculine influence in their life. I was in a situation where the father died in a ladder accident. One of them had just left the whole scene like back in the 50s and 60s, like leave for cigarettes, never come back.
Yeah.
I was in one where the dad was so violent he wasn't allowed to see the kid. So I never had to deal with the guy himself. But, dude, we talked about this. I mean, we've talked about this, you and I, 100 times. The observation, and again, guys, another great book, The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. It is, and when it comes to learning what life is really like for a man, that is the Bible, guys. The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. But it talks about this situation in modern society that women get to take advantage of. And the way they get to take advantage is they get to go to the quarterback of the football team who drinks a lot and can sleep with any girl in the high school, or the gangsta thug. And these men typically have great physical traits. They got six-pack abs, they got strong arms,
swag.
Yeah. But they don't care about hanging out and fathering a child at all. But the woman gets all the great physical characteristics for their child for survival. Then they get that guy on child support first and foremost. Then they go find a simpy male who makes a lot of money who will take care of these kids. Now this woman, using modern civilization, all the tactics available to her, now this woman has got a man paying child support and then a man coming in and paying for the kid with his own money, because let's face it, ladies, you're not going to marry a new dude or house up with a new dude, and that guy's not giving any of the money to your kids. So you got, and this is what Donovan Sharp calls.
Shout out to Donovan Sharp.
Shout out to Donovan Sharp. He calls it Anthony. What does he call it? Alpha cucks.
Oh.
And beta bucks.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
Alpha
fucks.
Yeah, alpha fucks and beta bucks. So she will, and the way society's set up now, Anthony, if you don't take that kid, case in point, this K Jewelers commercial, if you don't take that kid, you don't
whole world.
Man, you better man up. Anthony, you better man up. Why you my kids are my world. Well, kind of not though, because you didn't make the relationship work. Could have been his fault, but this is what Anthony, what's the term that you use when women do this? Double dipping.
Double dipping. I wanted to say something.
They're winning, aren't they?
Oh man, stay winning. I wanted to walk that back too when you was talking about when they go with a man of physique or level of let's say the popular guy, whatever that popular guy is.
Let's use an actor so they know what we're talking about.
For I know black women, it's Denzel Washington.
Yeah, strong jaw.
Yes.
Handsome guy.
Handsome.
Well spoken.
Yes. Going for him 100%.
Who's that new guy that was in Pacific Rim?
Oh man, you're making me go back. I don't remember that.
Look it up while you're talking.
But I wanted to walk that back. After she's with that guy, she's not just going straight to another beta after that though. She's in her level of being able to get more Denzel's clones, if you will, or wannabes, until she no longer can, because she's hit her own level of undesirability, if it's either in her physique or that she has these kids by these guys, and these other guys don't want to girlfriend her up or wife her up. So she had the natural desire for these guys, but she know these guys aren't going to be long-term partners for her. Now her attention goes towards these guys that are well-to-do, that may not have the physique, but they have the funds, they have the means, and they have the time. And now you told me this, and I'll never forget it. Women do not give men credit for dating down.
No.
Not at all. But they don't believe that they're dating down.
Yeah.
They don't believe they're dating down. They believe that they deserve any guy that comes up to them, or if they want them, that they deserve that guy. It's never an even exchange when it comes to this, especially from a man. Think about it. A man that's single with no kids, or let's say he has one, doesn't matter. He has to come off of his resources to show his value. He has to show her that he's Superman, that he can provide, protect, be there when she needs him. But what is she saying that she's going to offer in return? And what we're offering are tangible things that you can write down and say, hey, yeah, this is value. But when she's offering, what's she going to offer? What's she going to offer me?
She's going to offer you love.
Love. Keep your fucking love. Because guess what? You loved somebody else before, right?
What does this mean? This is just temporary. This is fleeting.
I mean, this is not something I can keep with me and say, you know what, I got her love. You know what I'm saying? At least I got her love. No, you can love somebody else.
Because men are bringing love too.
Yeah, of course, 100.
Yeah, but then also other tangible stuff.
Yes,
like houses and cars. You know, you can live inside. You can't live inside love.
You cannot.
So she's over there. She has the baby with Idris Elba.
That's go another one.
Yeah, Idris Elba was the guy I was trying to think of. And so your baby looks like Idris Elba, but now Idris you knew Idris didn't want you.
Yeah.
Or you didn't want Idris, but you wanted that kid, and you wanted Idris to pay you child support. Now
Idris doesn't have to wear a condom.
Yeah.
On the one night stand.
Right. And then now we got to go find Paul Giamatti. And we got to marry him. And now Paul Giamatti not only has to get down on one knee. No. That's not where
permission.
it is. Now he's got to go ask the children for permission.
They don't look like him.
He's got to go full simp. According to K Jewelers.
This is painful. This is painful even talking out loud about this.
He's got to go full simp. And that's what we're talking about. I mean, we don't want this to, again, when we talk about protecting the front lines of what's normal, we don't want this to now become another thing we have to do for you ladies. You said it, Anthony. It became a tradition to get down on one knee. Now the new tradition is, because that commercial is not for men.
It's definitely
that commercial
not for
is for women and training women like, oh, wait, your man don't do this?
Right.
Your man didn't get a diamond from K Jewelers? He got you one from the pawn shop? Oh, he must not love you. He didn't go talk to your kid? Oh.
Women are marketed to 100% by companies, by corporations.
Because they have what you call, Anthony,
a hive mentality. A hive mentality. 100%.
It's only funny because it's true, ladies. I'm sorry. This is easy peasy. Don't believe me? What if you say something offensive about women? If you say something offensive about men, it's not like we all team up like, hey, what are you doing? Oh my God. You say something bad about a dude?
If it's funny, we're going to laugh at him too.
Yeah, we'll laugh. Exactly. We'll laugh at them too. But no, man. I mean, this whole thing. I mean, ladies, I'm sorry. There is no other way to look at this K Jewelers commercial to be like, y'all have literally reached a level of arrogance where a major jewelry company has said, these bitches are so arrogant. Watch this. We'll get them here with this one. Y'all have become so arrogant that it's like, of course, yeah. He better take my kids. These my kids. Like, well, you weren't really concerned about your kids, like, staying in the relationship, though. You know? Uh-oh. Is that a little too close to the mirror for them, Anthony?
I wonder. Is the most... I hate to say it like this, but fuck it. It's our show. The most unwanted woman is the single mother.
Not according to K Jewelers, Anthony.
Well,
according to K Jewelers, this is just something you have to deal with.
No, this is why they made this commercial. The single mother is unwanted, so give them a commercial that showed that somebody's wanting them.
Oh man, I Anthony, I disagree with you so much because this society has become so simpy. Let me tell you, because we're going to talk a lot about taking the red pill. And for those of you guys that don't know what the red pill is, there's a lot of great videos online. Anthony and I are huge fans of Donovan Sharp's podcast. He puts up a video daily, usually called The Sharp Reality. Donovan Sharp, just look him up on YouTube. But when we talk about the red pill, and there's a lot of online blogs about this, we're talking a lot about the book, The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. And the reason they call it the red pill is because they're making an analogy to the movie The Matrix, where Morpheus sits there in front of Neo and he puts his hand out and he says, hey, if you take the red pill, you know, I'm sorry, if you take the blue pill.
Yeah, he offered the truth, nothing more.
He's like, if you take the blue pill, you can go back to your world and just do whatever you want to do. You take the red pill, I'm offering you the truth. Keep in mind, I'm only offering you the truth. Okay? And then we follow Neo through his adventures. We find, like, got shitty ass clothes. They got this terrible ship that they live on. They're eating what looks like watered down oatmeal as food. Like, it's kind of a shitty life, but he chooses to know the truth, right? And Anthony, I'm going to tell you specifically, when I was digesting the red pill myself, the thing that was really, really hard for me to be like, man, I can't believe I thought this one way before, and now I think, wow, why did I think like that? Was the thing on the kids. That was the thing that society really got me, like this K Jeweler commercial. Before I took the red pill myself and like looked at reality for what it is, I was really just like, yeah, Hey, how dare you? How dare you guys on that red pill phone tap talk a bunch of trash about that poor little boy just wanted a dad. You know, I never really took a step back and go, dude, what? These women, there's not even any level of shame anymore for them having these kids out on their own. Save your emails. I know that there are situations where men run out on you, you know, and that's part of why the feminist revolution had to happen. We had to make these men financially accountable.
Yeah.
For you can't just go down and buy cigarettes and then just disappear. But now the pendulum has swung back to a level where
overcorrection.
Oh, it's completely overcorrected where women are just like, oh, well, this relationship didn't work out. I guess I'll just have to get a new husband. Because I can just go out in the world with no shame whatsoever that these kids I just had by some other man. And, well, man, I've never had to deal with a baby daddy before. I can't even fucking fathom it. I can't imagine dating a woman. Relationships are already hard. But now you got a kid that will never truly accept you as the father. Yeah. That's the reality.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stop with this K Jeweler commercial where the kid's just sitting over there smiling. Oh, I can't believe I get a daddy. Those kids are assholes these days, man. And yes, ladies, your kids are assholes. Yeah, they are. They're assholes. You love them. We don't. I love my kids. I don't love other people's kids. But it's like you had this, whatever you had to do in your life, you just willy-nilly walked out with nothing at stake because, ladies, you knew there would be a simp like this dude in the commercial that would come along eventually, blow up your DM box, hit you up.
I'm waiting for you to tell me where you disagree with me on this.
No, I believe that they're very desirable. There are so many simps in society now, Anthony, that's why I was pointing out. I can't believe most of my life I just thought, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You know, a woman having a child,
outside
that makes
of you.
her more beautiful because she brings more to the relation. I mean, dude,
It wasn't your
you have no
child,
idea how
though.
simpy I used to be.
It's not your child, though. Like,
It's not my child, exactly. And I'll never love this child as much as its father. Hopefully. I know that there's different situations.
Yeah.
We're getting into very sensitive situations, and I'm not trying to paint it with a broad stroke, I promise.
Yeah.
But I do observe in society where it used to be, single mom used to be like nowhere, no man's land.
Yeah, they would talk down upon. They would actually.
If you got pregnant as a teen, you had to move to another city.
No, the mother will take responsibility for the birth of the child back in the day. So the kid, they wouldn't think that it was the daughter's kid.
Right. And that level of shame is terrible. You know why? Because children are great. But let me tell you, a total absence of shame whatsoever,
Exactly.
that's not good either.
Because now you popping them out like popcorn.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and you're like, no, don't worry. There's a lot of DMs. I have a lot of DMs. So there'll be some dude roll through here eventually. And what really gets in my kitchen about it, Anthony, now that I have my own child, is, boy, are you playing the lottery there with a child's life? Like, did you try to make it work with the dad? You know? Did you try to? Was he just an asshole? Did he run out on you? Those are all things I want to hear, right? If some dude just ran out on you, and I don't think most men would say, yeah, you don't deserve another chance. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, you should not be coming to the table all arrogant with your kids like, yeah, K Jewelers just showed me. You should be asking my child's permission. We need a certain level of shame.
Well, the reason
I'm not saying shame them like you were pointing out.
Yeah.
With the mothers would take responsibility, or they had to move to another city. Like, that was terrible back then. Nobody's saying that. I'm just saying there needs to be a little bit of shame though. We're like, wait, did you really try to make it work? Okay, you did try to make it work. Didn't make it work.
Okay.
Hey,
it happens.
Listen. We're in love, but you know, my child is important to me. So I want my child to be important to you. Is that okay? And then the man briefly pauses. He thinks about it. He ain't down on one knee. He's a man. He's a man of value. And he goes, okay. Anything that's important to you is important to me too. Cool. That's a very different story than, oh, excuse me, my kid. I love my kids. You better ask my kids permission. You better impress my bitch. Oh my God, the level of arrogance. Anthony.
I see this all the time, man, in dating profiles, that my kids are the most important thing to me. Nothing comes before my kids. And fine, good. Get the fuck off a dating site, though.
Yeah.
You can't go date someone and tell them that they're not gonna be a priority because you got kids. And yeah, if you're a mother and you got kids, fine. I'm not telling you can't date either, but don't be on dating sites saying you're not gonna get my my time.
Don't be on dating sites acting like you're super mom if you're single.
Right.
Stop. I'm sorry. I know that's a hard pill for ladies to swallow. I know. You know what? Let me tell you to swallow it. Because listen. Also, don't be on dating sites talking about how you love hamburgers. Don't be on dating sites talking about your favorite colors. No, dude. Be on dating sites talking about how you want to date. You know what I mean? Don't be. Yeah. When you go to a job interview, tell them what job skills you have for that job.
Yeah. We ain't talking about your hobbies.
We ain't talking about how you like to collect Beanie Babies on the side at a job interview. Dating sites are a job interview. How you going to date? And to me, red flag, I'm bringing in shit that doesn't even have anything to do with about dating.
Right.
Because I'm so arrogant. I'm coming in stomping with, and I love my kids. It's like, dude, I don't care about your kids. I don't even know you.
Right. You're supposed to love your kids. Congratulations, Rich.
Congratulations for loving your kids.
It irritates me when I see the arrogance about it, because you're saying up front that you have built-in excuses on why you're not going to be an optimal partner in this. And I'm already reading that you're saying, yeah, I'm going to be partial in this interaction. So, but you're demanding the world, but you're not able to give it back.
I've got some sound advice for women. Sound advice for women. If y'all ever want to hear how stupid y'all sound on dating apps, read your profile back to yourself and pretend a dude wrote it. Oh my God. You would not date. First and foremost, I'm a princess. If you read a dating app, first and foremost, I'm a prince. I come first. I love my kids and my dog first. I'll never love anyone more than my ladies. Does that sound attractive to you? No. A man. I'll never love anyone more than my dogs or my kids first. My kids and my fur babies. That's how these chicks
I see
talk.
that. It's horrible.
Oh my God, man! Just read your shit back to yourself. Act like you're reading that a man posted that, and you will see quickly how stupid you sound on these dating apps. Anthony, you're still on some of these apps. What are you seeing out there right now?
Oh, man, I'm seeing. Oh, right now it depends. You know, they have a delusional perception of what they can actually.
Well, first of all, you're not 7 foot tall, so I mean, how do you even get dates?
Yeah, it's a struggle out here, man. Like,
all these chicks want tall.
Man, don't even get me started.
All these chicks are 5 foot tall.
Everybody, and there's a statistic out here, man. I looked into it. I heard about it, so I looked into it. There's a statistic out here about 6 foot men. They're only on the planet. They're only.
Oh yeah, you were sharing this with me.
17% of the men on the planet is above 6 feet.
Is it really that low?
It's that low.
Wow.
On the planet. However, You have 4'10" Becky saying anyone under 6 feet swipe left, and it's like, bitch, you can't be 5 feet, let alone how you want 6 feet. So you're reaching beyond what you can't be yourself, and there's women out here with that height requirement that are 6 feet tall. So you're looking at you're competing with women.
Oh man, you just brought up a good point. If you're a 6 foot tall woman, you should get first dibs on the tall dudes.
100.
Right?
But you're talking about 5 feet women demanding 6 feet above men. Some are 6'2" above, 6'3" or above. I like to wear heels and I'm tall, so I need a man that's going to be, bitch, please. If I was 5'2" and I had enough swag, I had enough resources that you could see with your eyes. I'm not online, but you see me, and you see other women wanting me. You're gonna want me too with your little ass too. You're gonna want me too. It's not about the height, but like we were talking about earlier, you have a hive mentality. You going with the trends and the fads. When in reality, we always say this. You cannot force desire. Desire will show itself in so many different ways and being involved with.
I'm not following how you're comparing that to height, though. You're talking about the guy desiring them back, or
No. So I'm talking about a woman's desiring a man.
Oh, okay.
If she desires that man for whatever reason she finds him desirable, it's not about his height alone. If she's one-on-one with him, I'm not talking about on a website where it's just a meat market where she just get to go through and just be swipe crazy until she finds the perfect man that she has 25 that meets all her 25 requirements on her list. I'm talking about if she's just one-on-one at a bar, she meets a guy, doesn't meet her requirements, but he makes her laugh. You know, he's engaging. You know, he has some swag about him, and she's like, "There's something about this guy." But she's not going check on the list. She's just having a conversation with this guy naturally. But now all of a sudden, there's a desire inside her that's like, "It's something about this guy."
That is weird. You just made me realize something. So I guess this is where, when women are, I like the word you use, shopping for men online. It's kind of like how women finally start to kind of be like men, because we are 100% attracted with our eyes, right? And this is like, that's the only thing they have to go off of is looks
online.
So
yeah.
they just go through. Now, a lot of women don't understand that just because a man wants to sleep with you doesn't mean he wants you. And by the way, as a person that's worked in sales most of my life, I get that mentality. Like, I kind of get that mentality of like, just let me get the appointment. When I'm there, I can sell them. You know, that's what women are thinking a lot of the time. Like, just let me get the date. Once I got my clothes off, I can sell it. You know, like, and then of course, then they don't get a call back. But man, that really kind of changed my perspective. I mean, that's why all these dating coaches tell you, spend minimum amount of time on dating apps, because it's just like you said, they just get to shop around. And what a lot of men don't realize is men that are in the looks department, like a fucking 9 and 10, that look like Idris Elba, that look like Denzel Washington, look like Chris Hemsworth, they will sleep with 5s and 6s.
Oh yeah, 100.
100. Yeah. They will sleep with 5s and 6s. 5s and 6s will say all day long, it's because my personality or some shit they tell themselves. No. Chris Hemsworth had a date cancel on him, and he's just used to living a life of abundance when it comes to vagina, and that's just the world we live in. So if you're a guy that's not Idris Elba or Chris Hemsworth, you're at a huge disadvantage on these dating sites because you don't get to use any of your game whatsoever. You don't get to use any of your swag, any of your communication skills. I mean, you and I think, are similar guys in that way, where our communication skills are a huge part of our total package. As a person on a dating app, they don't see any of that stuff.
Well, they do all these filtering on their own. Maybe they read this shit in a magazine. I don't know, but they give all these rules about how to talk to them, what you can say to them, and it's like calm down. You're meeting a stranger. You of course you're getting inundated with messages. There's going to be more men on the dating sites than there are women. That's what it is.
And part of me, Anthony, I don't know how you feel about this. Part of me feels kind of like I'm not that mad about it, because if you're getting like 100 matches a day, it's kind of like people that are getting resumes. You got to have some sort of things to narrow it down.
Yeah.
So first, let's narrow down. All right, only guys that are 6'1" get on this ride.
Keep it internal though, because just like you said on the interview, if you're getting, you can't say, oh, I don't want any black people. You just can't say that shit, right? You can.
Ooh,
you can.
Hold on a second. You just hit the nail on the head. Yeah, you could just keep it internal in your head. Yeah, because what if you said no black people? That's the big one.
Right.
Oh, you're racist.
Right.
But you can't be heightist.
Right. Exactly.
Because people don't care about that. Like, if you don't like short people, then you can't get kicked off Twitter.
No, exactly. Keep it internal though. But the thing is like
the arrogance. Yeah.
It's almost as if like if you're short, you're unworthy of my attention, time, and response. So it's like
arrogance is not attractive
at all.
Either sex.
At all.
Yeah.
And I also read this a lot, which I already passed by. It's like, I'm competitive in everything. In everything?
So you're seeing this a lot?
A lot, man.
Really?
And I don't know why. I think some, and when I say it's a high mentality.
Hold on. I gotta know more about this. Hold on. What do you mean? What is? So they'll just like list their traits.
So
and then what?
Yeah, they'll talk about. Because some of these
like
dating
women
sites,
know what competitive is. Jesus
some
Christ.
of these sites give you like a question, like a pre-question, or help you build a conversation. Because most of the time, ladies, you talk about a lot of shit that we don't want to read, and you mad that we didn't read the fucking profile, but because you're talking about shit we don't care about.
And it's also 5 paragraphs long,
and it's like, damn, I
man.
don't even know you yet. I gotta invest this much time in reading about you.
Do you know what that's like, Anthony? That's like those when you're looking for a job, and instead of just one click, you can send your resume. It's like they make you go to their
fill
website.
out the entire.
Hold on, let's go to our website, No. By the way, ladies, I already know what you're going to say. Well, if you really want the job, then you're really going to work for it. Guess how much LeBron James worked to be a Laker? Zero.
No, yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
The Lakers grabbed him, flew him out on the plane. When you're the best, nobody has to work at anything. I'll give you a side conversation on this, Anthony, because I want to go back to this competitive thing. But I'll give you a side conversation on this. One time I was having a conversation with a friend's wife, and they have a daughter. I was pretty close with them. And they said, hey, man, this is going to be really rough for her when she starts dating. Because, man, your friend over here is a big, giant Greek dude. And then the dad's already going to be protective. And, Wes, you're an MMA fighter. And this is going to be crazy. And I was like, well, none of her dates are going to have any problems with me. I'm going to be very nice to them. She's like, well, you're not going to make them prove that they... I'm like, no, man. Listen, sit down so I can tell you this. President of Student Council, quarterback of the football team, the coolest kid in school that's making $1,600 on the SAT, and he's just king of every academic club. He's not going to work for your daughter. The minute he comes over here one time the dad pulls out a shotgun or any of this fucking bullshit you see in movies, he's going to go, oh, I don't want to date that chick. There's like 5 other chicks who want me to date her.
Right.
This bitch has got a crazy fucking family. So, no, this isn't a movie. You know what? He stayed in there and he worked. He never gave up. And no. Man, men of value don't do that. Do you think Drake's going to meet a girl and, no, I'm never going to give up. Man, I'm never going to give up, dog. I'm never going to sleep with anybody else.
I always love doing this because Superman, when he's with Lois Lane, he doesn't act like Clark Kent.
I don't know. That might be a bad example.
No, Superman. Listen,
Superman acts kind of simpy around Lois Lane, in my opinion.
He's
not my favorite superhero.
Clark Kent is always chasing after Lois, always trying to make.
Oh wait, no, you're right. I see what you're saying. When he's in the Superman costume, he's like, I'm about to save your ass, bitch.
Exactly. He's always in a strong stance. He's holding her by one arm. You know what I'm saying? he's never in a
simpy pose.
Oh, come to me, please. No, never. Lois is always chasing Superman, and you see the switch when he goes to Clark Kent that she don't even recognize him.
Yeah.
He's almost like a irritant, a gnat.
And when he's Clark Kent, yeah.
When he's Clark Kent. And it's like, when he's Superman, he doesn't... What kills me, though, is when... I don't know how this doesn't eat you up inside as Superman, knowing how she treats Clark Kent.
Yeah, well, I guess first of all...
Knowing that you're the same person.
Yeah, it's not real, first of all. It's more of this weird fucking fiction that's led men astray. But, going back to what I was saying, look, ladies, we are not going to, quote-unquote, work for you, read your fucking dating profile. We're not going to go to a separate website to answer your questions that you have on a separate website. Remember back in the day, Monster.com.
Yeah.
You'd be going along, send resume. Then there'd be this one company, you'll have to go to our website and fill out individually your name in this box, last name in this box, address in this box, tab down here, put your job history. Motherfucker, I ain't trying to do all this.
And attach your resume. And attach your resume.
Yeah.
After you fill out
you don't know if you're getting an interview, nothing, but you're supposed to do all this shit.
Yeah.
And then you know that there's some woman in HR folding her arms going, well, if he really wants the job, then he's gonna work for it. No, the best job candidates, ladies, do not work for it. Kobe Bryant, he didn't work when it was time for a contract for the Lakers. He didn't go, hey, I'd love a job. I'm gonna come out here to the Lakers front office and I'm gonna sweep it every day when I wake up in the morning because I know my contract's coming up. I'm going to come and I'm going to sweep, and then I'm going to take Brasso and I'm going to polish the doorknob because I want to prove to you guys I want to be a Laker. No. Not
even close.
No. Oh, my God. So, I'm sorry. Go back to your ridiculous shit, though.
Yeah.
About I'm competitive in anything. Women are only competitive with other women.
Yeah.
Dude.
What? They say that I'm competitive
with that.
Well,
the more shit they write to sound interesting. Ladies, you're not that interesting.
I guarantee you, this is something that they read because it's too. I see the same profile. It's just a different face. It's the same profile.
Really?
It's just a different face, man. And the thing is, even if, and I'm a unique guy on my own. I don't need to prove that to you. You'll find that out if you engage. But guess what? I'm not chasing you to engage me. I look for you to have equal desire for me as well. If we match, that's not the end of the road for you, ladies. Your conversation has to be engaging.
I don't understand, Anthony. The movies all show men and they chase.
Men aren't chasing anymore.
Man, men never chased.
You
know who wrote those movies? Simp dudes.
Oh, of course.
I'm telling you, take a step back. Think of all the love movies y'all like. Everybody out there listening to this, think of all the movies you like. That's a love story. Now take a step back, and do you realize this guy is doing a lot of stalker activity? I mean, it's real stalker. I mean, oh my God. What's that movie, Say Anything, or the one where he has the boombox outside? And it's all romantic. And it's, God, who's the guy that's in every 80s movie?
Not John Cusack.
Yes, John Cusack. He's in every 80s movie. And he's out there outside because she's dumped him. And he's out there outside of her house holding up the boombox. And it's really romantic. And it's Peter Gabriel. In your eyes. And he's just holding up the boombox because he's not going to give up on her. Ladies, think about a man you didn't want that you dated outside your house holding up a boombox playing.
She's calling 911.
Playing some Brian McKnight. Ladies. That is not romantic except in the movies. This is the dude you said no to. Remember, no means no, right? No? So, and then he's out there booming music outside, and you still live with your parents.
Right.
He's booming, he's out there in a trench coat. In your eyes. Like, that's stalkery as hell.
Yeah.
What are you doing, man?
Give up, man. Look. Move to the next one. This is why we're saying this. If you're that guy, and you like, well, what's wrong with that? You're going after the woman you love. You gotta fight for her.
So many other women out there.
No, you don't. No, you don't. It's so, like he said, it's so many other women. But that's the one you want. So see, I read this.
All movies. People learn from movies.
Do you believe in soulmates?
No.
Okay,
it's
that's
fallacy.
Another movie. I know there's going to be so many people that will disagree with this. Soulmates don't exist. That is some bullshit. That is something that someone is giving you an idea of, that said that there is somebody out there that is your other half, that once you get together, everything is going to be perfect. Everything is going to just meld, and your long lost love. You know what? Relationships are work, and you have to make them work. And it doesn't come easy to make a relationship continue to go on. I'm gonna tell you something. Me and Wesley, we both been married before. I bet we both can say that we've made mistakes in our relationships.
100%.
That if we had known better, we would have made those changes, and our relationship would still be together. It takes a lot of knowledge about not only who you are as a person, but who the person that you're with, and understanding that you're going to evolve and change as time goes on. And it takes time and patience and understanding to know that you're not going to immediately understand what her changes are, what she's not going to understand what your changes are, because you're going to, you may have aspirations to be an astronaut, and you never thought it was possible until some doors start to open for you, and you was like, you know what, I'm quitting my job, I'm going to go join NASA. She was like, what? Why would you quit that job? Because now you're breaking up something that she married you on as a engineer of some at Exxon, and you're talking about going to space. She didn't sign up for that.
Wait, Anthony, you're saying that there's no soulmates?
No, it's no soulmates, man.
I mean, what are you talking about, Anthony? I thought that there was always the perfect one out there for me. What is, Anthony, I'll understand. What, my mom and dad told me that they were soulmates, and what are you saying, Anthony? You're saying that there's no soulmates?
No, that shit just sounded good.
I'm married, Anthony. I want to believe my wife is my soulmate, Anthony.
Okay.
Why are you being so mean?
I'm not,
Anthony, why are you being so mean?
I'm not
Why are you being
trying
so mean
to
our listeners, Anthony?
Dash your dreams.
Anthony.
I'm not trying to dash your dreams or your hopes and what you believe was
Sounds
real.
like you're mean, Anthony.
I
Who hurt you, Anthony?
No one's hurt
Who
me.
hurt you, Anthony?
No, you know what?
I can already read the inbox
you know what
right
this
now.
is?
That's going to be all the inbox.
Somebody hurt me?
Oh,
Yeah.
No, both of us. Oh, somebody actually hurt him. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to talk about the real issues.
Well, that's what happens when you don't want to hear something. You're like, you know what? I don't want to hear that. So to make sure what I say, well, to make sure what he says is invalid, I'm just gonna say something happened.
I found out that you said something about a gay person back in 1996.
Here we go. Shame and
tactics. Now
tactics.
you can't host the Oscars.
Shame and tactics.
I'm done with you. I'm done with you, Mr. Hart.
If soulmates is real, right?
What? Yeah, but Anthony, you got to slow down. This is something you and I know, but I mean, I'm in. This is episode 1, brother.
All right, I'll scale back.
I mean,
I'll scale back.
Hard. I mean,
I'll scale back.
Of all the red pill knowledge, and again, want to send a shout out to Rollo Tomasi. Of course, want you all to read The Rational Male. It is the Bible of men.
He does talk about that in his book, doesn't he?
He does, and let me tell you what he says specifically, which I thought was the most interesting about this. He was at a college where people were very rational. It was, they're very scientific minded. Some of the, best minds in the country. And he went there to speak to the class. He wasn't the professor, but he went there to speak to the class. And he was asking everybody in the class, who here thinks that there is a God? Who here thinks that there's a greater entity? And a lot of them were like very science minded, and they were like, well, I don't believe in organized religion and things like that. There could be something, but it's very unlikely, blah, blah, blah. And they start asking a lot about religion and stuff like this. And goes into it, and a lot of these people don't believe that there's a God. But when he asks them, do people here in this class, do y'all think that there's this one person out there for you? Who thinks that? And they all raise their hands, and it's like, you didn't believe in God.
Right.
But you believe in this mythology that there's this one person out there for you. So you just handed me a dictionary definition of limerence?
Yeah, because he mentioned that in his book, that is not a soulmate feeling that you have. It's science can prove that what you have inside you is called limerence, where it's an infatuation feeling that it can feel for as long as 3 years.
You look this up for our listeners, so
yes.
I'll read them the definition. So limerence is a noun, and it's a noun in the study of psychology, and the definition is the state of being infatuated or obsessed with another person, typically experienced involuntarily and characterized by a strong desire for reciprocation of one's feelings, but not primarily for a sexual relationship. That's interesting, really. But not primarily for a sexual relationship.
That's what Rollo Tomasi was talking about in his book, and I looked that up because I was like, man, I gotta research that more, because that's very interesting. Where what we call love or soulmates, whatever you want to describe how you feel about someone. Science had broke it down. There's a word called limerence. You should look into it, and it's a feeling that you can have for someone that you call love, but that it will fade.
Yeah,
and
it's sad. It's a sad pill to swallow, right?
Yeah.
You want to believe, like you said, happily ever after,
yeah.
And it's all good to go. People, but some people do make it. 2 thumbs up for those people. That's great.
Yeah.
Some people don't. Well, I don't know if there is a rule, Anthony. I don't have the real data on how many people make it, how many people don't make it. I know in my own personal experience, I have a very deep love for my wife after having a child and watching her love this thing that I love so much.
Children change things, though, man.
Observing this person, like, this person is just as protective over this thing, if not more, than I am. You're like, man, I really feel like I got a partner in crime here. So in my current state, I'm like, I can't imagine that
He
shit
called
fading.
his child a thing, but he loves that kid. Trust me, he's not calling.
Oh
his
no,
daughter
yeah, I
a
mean,
thing.
but yeah, guys, I'm not calling it a thing. I don't know. It's just, I guess that's just my addiction. But no, I mean, this little girl, we both just love. Well, I don't know. I guess that's the reason I was saying a thing, because I never thought I could love a thing, human or outside. You know, I never thought I could love something that much. So I'm kind of talking about not just people, like all things,
Anything
on
possible.
planet
Yeah,
Earth.
got you.
But when you see somebody loves that thing the same amount you do, like when I'm watching the Texans and you look over at your chick, Houston Texans are my favorite football team. I look over and I'm like, well, they're humoring me, but they don't love this team like I love them, you know. But isn't it nice? Good try. When you see your spouse love your child, you're like, ah, damn, she loves this thing just as much as I do. Shit, you know. I feel like I got a real teammate here. But yeah, man. And so it's very hard for people to understand. Hey, man, this may not be the last person you're ever going to be with. You know, soulmates. All the people that are listening, the sooner you learn this, the easier your life's going to be. Soulmates are for movies.
It's made for movies. Yes.
Yeah, soulmates make for great stories in a movie. They really help the storyline move and things like that. This isn't me. Donovan Sharp said this on his podcast the other day, and he's very right. Unconditional love is for children and pets.
100.
That's it. Children get unconditional love. Pets get unconditional love. That's where it ends. And Donovan Sharp said it best. If you're a man and you're looking for unconditional love from a woman, you're weak. You're a simp. Stop your simp ways.
Please stop.
Because let me tell you what happens when someone loves us unconditionally. Our mothers, because we are the child,
yes.
of our mothers or our fathers. What did you do to your mother and father? You totally took advantage of them. Yeah. Oh, Mom. You know, you stole money out of her purse. You did something shitty to your parents. And it was because you knew no matter what,
she's going to love you.
They were going to love you.
Yep.
Let me tell you what makes you a strong, sharp, athletic in life man. Knowing you got to wake up every morning and make the team. That's how I wake up every morning with my wife and my daughter. There is nothing guaranteed. I got to make the team today. Is it stressful? Yes. But eventually, your body gets stronger. All right? There is no such thing as soulmates, everybody. So stop. That's the reason people are that's another reason why people are quote-unquote following the rules in life. They're coming up short because they think this is a real thing. And it's not. You better wake up and make the team every day. Ladies, if you gain 300 pounds, if you gain 100 pounds, just know your man's looking around. Maybe he gained 100 pounds too. Maybe he's a little slow. But you can't just let yourself go completely. Guys, if you've been unemployed for 6 months and you're just sitting around depressed because you can't believe your boss fired you, your wife's looking around. Soulmates don't exist. And the sooner you can get over that, man, you are going to have such a better life. You're going to have such a better life.
But she told me she loved me.
She said she loved me unconditionally, Anthony. Yeah, that's what every divorced guy says when he's at the bar and he's drunk.
She said she loved me. She said she wouldn't leave me.
She said she wouldn't leave me, Anthony.
Man, I don't even want to go that far deep into it.
Well, I mean,
episode
you're the one, man. Episode 1, you dropped on them early that soulmates don't exist. I'm not over here disagreeing with you, but I'm like, man, that's a lot to lay on them.
Yeah. It came out.
But I don't know. I don't know. We still came out kind of hard with the stepkids thing.
Yeah, we did. We did. It wasn't easy, man. It was a big step. But
I can already read the emails now. He told me I should be ashamed of my children and dating apps, and I shouldn't disclose. I can already see how they're going to twist it, man.
They can say whatever they want, man.
But if we reach one person,
it's all that matters, man.
Then this project still.
Neither one of us said denounce your children. Neither one of us said that.
They'll say it.
Yeah.
Because nobody. We live in a world now. Anthony. This is something we should really touch on real quick. We live in a world now that communicates in such extremes that and this is why this podcast is 3 hours long, so we can get ideas fully out.
Yeah.
But we live in a society, and this isn't women's fault. This is the society we live in. We got to have quick little sound bites. And Donald Trump quoted today, "The dog ate." So he's saying that all dogs eat now, and it's like that was part of a bigger paragraph, but they can just pull out a little snippet of something, you and I say. So he's saying that no children matter and be ashamed of your children. This is what I heard. I mean, what is this guy up to?
Yeah. They turned it off. They turned it off, went straight to the clickety clack, sent it, and they felt good about themselves and went to sleep.
Yeah, because did you see how woke they were?
Oh my gosh.
When they called us out, did you see how woke they were? Now they weren't helping anybody else's life at all. But man, did you see how woke they were when they called us out? I mean, I'm looking up these
Obama.
quotes, right? Yeah, this Barack Obama, man. Man, he's still killing it, man.
Yes.
Barack Obama talked about this when we were talking about cancel culture and stuff like that. And, man, he had such a great quote on
talking about coming out the woodworks and hit the nail on the head, right? He didn't skip anything. He just went right to it.
Man, he really did, and I'm pulling up the quote for you guys now because Barack Obama really hits it on the head where he talks about, like, look, sometimes flawed people do good things. And I've got the quote right here for everybody. Sorry about this, listeners. I know it's bad radio. It says, "The idea of purity and that you're never compromised and you're always politically woke and all that stuff, you should get over that quickly. The world is messy. There are ambiguities. People who do really good stuff have flaws. People who you are fighting may love their kids and share certain things with you." That wasn't the quote that I wanted to get to.
Yeah, it was a little longer than that one.
Yeah, Anthony, talk a little bit about what Obama said while I find this for our listeners.
Yeah, he basically called out cancel culture, saying that you're ready to eliminate someone, their whole totality of who that person is, for one thing they may have said that you don't agree with, that you don't find appropriate. In today's, like, for instance, if you bring an example where, well, Wesley, you said it earlier, where Kevin Hart got canceled because he said the F word about gay people, and all of a sudden, now, today, he got to suffer for 20 years ago, whatever time it was, where that word was actually acceptable in that community. But again, he has to suffer for those words because someone found it on Twitter or whatever. They found him using the word where they felt was derogatory towards. Now that he said something, let's say you said something 10 years ago, and now somebody bring it up and say, "Oh, well, you offended everybody today now because you said that 10 years ago." So that's what Barack Obama was talking about, saying, "Hey, stop with the I feel better now because I made people aware of what this person said, and now life is better for everyone because this person is canceled. Yay me!"
And then you're the one that canceled him. And this is what he goes on to say. He says, "There is this sense of sometimes of the way of me making change is to be as judgmental as possible about other people, and that's enough. If I tweet or hashtag about how you didn't do something right or use the wrong verb, then I can sit back and feel pretty good about myself because, man, you see how woke I was? I called you out." Man, for someone like him that's as big in the world as him to come out and talk about that and not silencing people, it's really, really big because I never thought I would see people on this side, on the left, who are coming from a place of kindness. They're like, no. My kindness is so good. If you say anything unkind, you're just not allowed to say it. You know, us talking about the K Jeweler commercial, you're just allowed to get mad because I said you should be ashamed of your kids, not what I said. That I told you that you failed at your relationship, not what I said. Not what I said. I said what there should be is a little bit of healthy... You know what? Let's not call it a healthy level of shame. Let's call it a healthy level of humility that you had a failed relationship.
Or even critique. Like, critiquing you on you jumping into relationships and doing the most without thinking about the consequences.
Yeah. So now that's your track record. You jump in relationships, do the most. Brought another life into the world. Now they don't have two parents. There's a little bit of humility that should come with that. I know I've been divorced. I have a lot of humility. You know, when I first got divorced, and I'm not saying, and I'm sure everyone feels like this, but I will tell you my own experience. You would have thought I was the first person on planet Earth to get divorced. I was ashamed. I couldn't believe I failed at this. I invited all these people to be part of this wedding, and now you got to call them up and be like, yeah, didn't work out. And I think that's a time in life to be shamed. Not shamed by others, but be ashamed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come with some humility, not coming with this thing like, Matter of fact, before you can ask me to marry me, you need to meet my divorce lawyer and pay off my last divorce and then go meet with my kid, ask his permission, then come over here, get on one knee, and maybe I'll marry you. I don't know. I ain't decided.
Man, I promise.
I'm telling you, the difference with the level of humility versus the, like I said, you were talking about the dating apps. First of all, my kids come first. I'm like, okay, cool, congrats. Thank you. I don't know how kids help you in a dating app. As a matter of fact, it doesn't help you. It hurts you. I don't know what to tell you, man.
I need to know you before I need to know your kids. And I understand you need to spend time with your kids. If you're a responsible mother, I know you're going to spend time with your kids, and you're going to do for them. You got to do for them, right? But you're still on a dating app, right? You're still out here promoting yourself. And be better at it is all I'm saying. Just be better at promoting yourself. Say the things that you bring to the table.
We're going to take a brief pause that none of you guys are ever going to know about because it's just going to be instantaneous. But when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about these women on dating apps that are asking where all the good men went. See you in just a second. And we're back from the pause that you guys did not know about. Anthony, this wasn't even on our docket today, but since we're going to go swing for the fences anyway, I thought we might give a little public service announcement to our ladies that could be or may not be listening to this podcast. Ladies, let me tell you, let me back up. I'm trying to make this as palatable as possible for our ladies out there. Ladies, I know that you have a fear inside that you're eventually going to hit the wall and that your looks are diminishing. Nothing is more of a indicator that your looks are diminishing and that you're hitting the wall than when you get on social media and you ask everyone, where are all the good men at? What you think you're doing is that you're shaming men. What you're really doing is you're waving this banner that says, I've hit the wall, and here's why. Ask yourself this question. Go find the hottest 22-year-old Instagram model on Instagram right now. And ask yourself this question, and be real with yourself. Is that 22-year-old right there ever asking, where are all the good men at? I'm just trying to help you. I'm just trying to help you. Ladies, when you're asking where all the good men are at, or you start wondering, how come men are doing this? How come men are doing... these men just want to sleep around. It's like, no.
That's all they want to do with you.
Around with you. Yes.
That's a bitter pill. Look.
Ladies, all I'm saying is don't make yourself look stupid and go on social media and do this.
Oh, it's too late.
I'm trying to help them, Anthony.
It's too late. That's womanese. That's how they speak. It is one of their ways of deflecting that it's not me, it's you. You know, so
yeah, it's one of women's like most effective tactics, and they wouldn't do it if it didn't work. Is finding a man that can be shamed. Have we ever heard the phrase "you ain't shit"?
Oh, 100.
Have you ever heard this phrase? Yeah,
I'm black. Yes.
Yeah, they want want to find a man that is that can be affected by shame and shame him early and often. And they think this tactic works on social media with, I guess, the entire gender. I don't understand. But nothing shows the world that you have hit the wall quite like whenever you go on social media asking where all the good men are at.
Well, the men that they would want would not even listen to that shaming tactic. It won't affect them.
That's what I'm trying to help them with.
Yeah.
The men you want, ladies, are not affected by this.
Right.
Now, all those simps that you don't want, they're going to come in with their swords waving. You know what? I know. Where are they at? Exactly. That's why I'm a good guy and I'm different. And yeah. Ladies.
I used to be real simpish that way.
I used to, too.
Oh, man. I used to try
terrible.
to hey,
so terrible.
I'm a good guy. I'm out here. And it's like...
Ladies, I'm right here. Come on.
I know. Right? Why can't you see? I'm right in front of you, right? And it's like you think you're. Oh man, this is sad.
Anthony, you know what would be a great thing for our listeners is to go back on social media over our life.
Oh, I've seen some. Facebook reminds me sometimes.
Oh my God, your memories on Facebook. We should go back and make. Our own simp chronicles.
Oh my gosh, that'd be horrible.
That guy.
I tried to delete one time because I was like, "Oh, I said that."
Oh man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man. Those Facebook memories, they're real, man. They're real, and you just like, wow, I can't believe there was a time in life when I said this. I'll go ahead and give our listeners one now. Being in the middle of a breakup and posting a song.
Oh God,
man,
that's the 90s. You went 90s simp action right there. Where
nope.
You went.
This was like fucking 3 years ago.
Oh no.
Oh, 100.
No.
Oh, I don't. Hey, I
no,
own my simp past.
I'm saying in the 90s, that's what we used to do. Like you.
Yeah.
You would make her a mixtape. You listen, man. Look, I'm gonna talk about some simp shit I did. I would make a whole mixtape for a chick. Either I was interested in her, or I liked her and we were in the relationship, or we broke up, right? Or there's something's wrong with our relationship, right? So I'm making mixtape songs. I'm on 97.9. I'm on 102, and I'm
hitting
recording.
On the cassette.
I'm pressing pause.
But dude. Well, you had me at first. I was like, when you first started saying that, I was like, that's not very simpish, because making a mixtape to Mac back in the day.
Oh
was,
yeah,
that was So I was like, well, hold on, that doesn't sound simpish. But when you started saying well, we're having relationship problems,
right?
You got Brian McKnight.
Listen, exactly. I'm trying to apologize through a song and shit, and I'm like, look, you don't want this to end, do you, baby? Listen. I would record myself in between songs and make a little monologue. Like, I remember.
Anthony, I wish we could hear the monologues. You just came in like old boy from Boys to Men. Girl, I can't believe we're breaking up. Girl, this changed me.
I'm listening to this song right now, and it's reminding me of the times when we were happy. And I don't want those times to end. Do you, baby?
Then this
next song comes up.
Do you, baby? Slowly, my eyes began to see.
It was a lot of Boys to Men, the most simplest group made. I love the music, man, but the songs were simplest, man. Oh. And definitely after 7, mint condition. I was all the way in it. I was, had some Prince. You got to
Had to
go
get some
old school.
silk.
Oh yeah, definitely some silk. It was, and, kind of make it upbeat. Say, hey, look, it ain't all dim, baby. You get some
Like,
upbeat songs.
Do you think you want this love to end?
I'll
You
make
know
love to you.
want my loving, baby. Oh, man, dude. That is hilarious.
I used to do that, man, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But
Well, you know why I think it worked a little for you was because women love that drama. They're in the middle of that uncertainty and they've got this drama going on. You're like, I don't know. Derek got my number in the hall by my locker, but Anthony made me this tape. I don't know what to do.
And I used to write poetry too.
Oh man.
Man,
That's simp level, isn't it?
Not only that, I would do the fold shit where you would fold it with the tab. You pull the tab out.
Well, hold on. I don't think that was simpy. That was just kind of culture back then.
Yeah, that was the cultures. Yeah,
notes in between class. Man, young people will never understand.
They don't
this.
understand that.
Notes in between class was.
You had to not pay attention in the whole class before because you knew
100%.
You had to write this note between the next class because you wasn't gonna see her the rest of the day. And either your class is on the other side of the class or you had to go football practice, whatever. You wasn't going to see her. So he's like, got to get her this note.
What? I mean, what were we writing about? I would love to have these notes.
No idea. I can't remember that shit.
Because it was kind of like you kind of felt your sexual market value was like, how many notes did I get today from different girls?
Oh, man. And
Yeah.
I would see notes being written in class, too. Right? Because like you said.
I wonder who she's writing it to.
Right. Or, and you're in the back, you just going away. You think man, this motherfucker is writing all the notes for class. Nah. This motherfucker trying to save his relationship. He seen her talking to a senior and at lunch, and now he's like, I got to save myself. It's like, because she'll get with this senior, and it's over for me.
Man, you really, like, jogged my memory on the notes. I mean, no social media back then. It was all notes. Did you ever have one? Because it's never happened to me, but it happened to some of my fellow students, my unfortunate fellow students, where they would grab the note and read it as the punishment.
Oh, yes.
The teacher would be like,
the teacher would read the note.
What are you writing back there?
Yeah.
Hold on. And they would grab the note, and then they would be like, your punishment is we're going to read this shit. And it was especially, they would never do it to girls. Ever. Always do it to guys. They'd be like, come on, baby. Why are you fronting like this? Like they would read it so white. No matter what color the teacher was, they would read it so white.
What's proof positive is that women has always been better at sneaking than us.
Man, that's a good point. Because now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I ever saw a girl get caught writing a note.
Not
ever.
at all.
And they were writing They were writing 7/8 of all the notes being written.
Exactly.
Because guys were not writing as many notes, but they'd be like, hey, that was your move. Like, you walk a girl to class and be like, hey, write me a note later. Or did we call them notes?
I don't even know,
Did we
man.
call them notes? I can't remember.
Shit. So you remember?
Do we call them letters or notes?
I don't know. Y'all let us know.
Yeah,
Hit us in
please email. That's something y'all should email. Please.
Right.
What did we call them? Do we call them notes? I can't remember. But man,
and tell us what you put in your notes.
And what's crazy is, now I know that we both grew up in Houston, but what's crazy is you knew that fold technique where you pull the
Yes. Yes. I had to learn it. It was I think you had to do it like a triangle
yes.
and on both sides and then fold it.
No, I think it was one triangle.
One triangle, then you fold it over like that. Yeah, okay, yeah.
And then fold it up the other way.
Ain't no telling how many different ones we had because you had the little simpish, would you go out with me? Yes, no, bullshit tabs.
But that was in high school. I mean, that was middle
school
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like in high school. That was how you knew your sexual market value. How many notes did you get? And then you would see some of these gangster motherfuckers just pocket full of these.
Yeah,
like they're getting hit up by
7-8
girls.
You open your locker and notes are falling out of your locker. So you're like, oh damn, I gotta read these later or after practice or whatever, right?
Yeah,
and then
because you can slide them in through that vent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know who they're coming from. You getting these fucking. We was getting DM'd in your fucking locker.
Right?
I was getting DM'd in the locker in high school, man.
And what else is crazy is you knew, man, if you could find out where a girl's locker was.
Oh, yeah.
That was really huge for you.
Walk into a locker. Let's find out the location.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you could always kind of know, like, I want to peep this girl again.
Exactly.
Then I'll just show up over here. Dude, talking about simp stuff, because I feel like some people here are getting the mistake that I was smooth as hell in high school. No.
Shit.
No, you know what? You know what? I was smooth as hell.
At some point.
I was smooth as hell in high school. Simultaneously, though, I had a girl that was just, had me wrapped around her finger. Every time I got into, like, had a girlfriend or something like that, she would always, like, get drunk and call me. It just seems like you don't care about me anymore. Totally had me in friend zone all through. I'm talking about 3 years. There's only 4 years of high school.
Bitch.
3 years.
I hate
Didn't want
that
you to
bitch.
be with anybody else.
I hate that female because we, especially when we've talked about this before, man. Men love stronger than women when it comes to men and women relationships. The kid thing, we talk about that's different. But when it comes to men and women relationships, you know, society says that women love the hardest, whatever. But it's the opposite, man. You talk about there are men that kill themselves over relationships, man. I don't know if that's. I'll have to look that up, but
I'm sure it's out there for sure.
The statistics
but
are probably
man,
more.
It's really common for men to kill themselves of wanting a girl. I think for most women, if they were really being honest with themselves, I don't know if they feel that way when a man dumps them.
No.
I don't know if you're like suicide.
Not
level.
suicidal.
Like, I think most men have been there, have gone through a breakup like that. If you haven't, good on you. Because let me tell you, that's not a great place to be. I think about those dark times where I've had those kind of breakups, and it's before the red pill. I thought I had a soulmate. I thought this was the one.
You see how dangerous
I let
that
her
is,
get
though?
away. It's very
How
dangerous,
dangerous
isn't it?
that is.
It's very dangerous, isn't it? But everybody's going to write us emails about how terrible we are, telling people there's no such thing as soulmates, telling people, no, man, the reason we put this podcast together is so people know the reality of the world. It pains me to say this. I love my wife. She is my unicorn. She is amazing. I love her, and we have a child together, newborn. So the feeling's very intense. She is all the information you hear on this podcast. Her and I agree on it. She thinks women have run amok in society, and that's a big part of the reason why she's my unicorn. But if it ended tomorrow, I'm gonna go on. The world's not over.
Yeah.
I got to go on, and I got to find another one. And I feel all the confidence in the world that I can find another one. You know, this.
See how different that is from
it's the one that got away.
And you say, I can't live on. I'll never find anyone else like her.
Never. Might as well take my own life.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why we say we have to have these conversations.
Yes.
And it's okay. And it's okay to have these conversations. And you know, I don't want to talk about safe spaces, but I want you to feel safe to be able to express yourself and be able to talk about the things that's happened in your life to where you felt like you wasn't enough as a man.
Yeah.
And you said, you know, how can I go on from this point? Because this has had to be the lowest part of my life. But understand that there are springboards to get you out of those ruts. And we hope
this podcast is going to be one of them for you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
We hope that you guys understand, like, if you're, especially, we expect, listen, back up here. People don't come to the red pill and wanting to really know about The Rational Male by Rollo Tomasi, How to Be a 3% Man by Corey Wayne, Donovan Sharp's YouTube videos, Alpha Male Strategies YouTube videos. Men don't come to those places unless something painful happened to them. And guys, and girls, pain is about one thing. Pain is a sign that something's got to change. If a boulder falls on your foot, your brain is going to feel that pain. Something's got to change. That rock needs to go somewhere else other than our foot. And that happens to people with relationships. And that's a big part of the genesis of this podcast. Is Anthony and I didn't have these kinds of things. You know, we didn't have a buddy in our headphones being like, "Hey man, it's okay. Soulmates don't exist. Time to move on." You know, think about those times where you're just so in pain and you just like you want to just take your own life because you love this woman so deeply. Jesus Christ, man, I would have never had my daughter if I did something crazy like that. And that's the biggest thing in my life right now. You know, probably it's going to be the biggest thing my whole life. You know, I want people to understand that these painful times, that's the reason that people come to the red pill. That's the reason people change. And Anthony and I are not coming here with malice or trying to be mean. We're trying to like let people know like, hey, this is the real world. All this Disney stuff, asking kids permission for marriage and soulmates and all, it's not real, guys. But when we live in a world where people all act like it's real, it causes a lot of those painful times. Like, you know, my father's friend, man, he had a breakup one time, and it was just everyone knew he was going through a breakup, and they just found him dead in his garage. He just turned on the car and just hung out in the garage until the carbon monoxide killed him. You know,
were you at where we used to work at in San Antonio when the guy in the warehouse killed himself? He hung himself?
No, I wasn't part of this.
His wife broke up with him, man. And
did they have kids?
No, she had kids.
Oh, okay. So he fell in love with the kids.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is very common.
And that was one of the things. She said she's taking the kids away from him, and
because they're not his kids, right?
It's not his kids. And
yeah, I've gone through that.
Man, I'm getting a little choked up even thinking about it again, man, because it caught me off guard. I like that guy. That guy he was always smiling.
Younger guy?
Closer to our age, maybe older.
Okay.
He was in a bike. I ain't gonna say bike gang, but he was in the motorcycle club or whatever.
Got you.
Because when I went to his funeral, they came in mass.
Wow.
And I think it was a master at arms of
holy shit.
Yeah, he was.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, he was. Man, I like that guy a lot. And when he took his life, man, over a relationship, and that was a time when I was divorced. That was my second divorce, man. And I was like, man, women don't give a fuck about how it feels when they're done with you. They don't. It's because men think that their woman will never do something foul to them, but they don't care when they're done with you. They don't care how it makes you feel.
Well, you know what though, Anthony, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think what a lot of people don't know. See, I think you're saying this with more knowledge than other people have. Yeah, they don't care because you and I both know that when a woman dumps you, she has been done with you for a long time.
Exactly.
So yeah, she doesn't care because I mean, for instance, if we were
already
talking
moved
about
on.
one of my ex-girlfriends, right? One of my ex-girlfriends from 2 years ago or something. I don't give a fuck about her.
Yeah.
Right? We've been broken up for 2 years. So if a woman's been living with you and in their mind they've been broken up with you, they don't care.
Right.
If you told me today that my ex from 4 years ago committed suicide, it would affect me, but it wouldn't be like, oh, I wouldn't like tear up about it. I'd be like, I didn't like that dumb bitch anyway. But man, I hate she has a son and a grandfather. I'm kind of worried about, but it wouldn't affect me. That's how women are, man. They've usually broken up. They've already found another dude. That's why women, quote unquote, move on so quickly. Fellas, this dude has been orbiting this gal for a year or two.
If not longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't quickly move on. They've been talking. This is how women... Okay, So for
you gonna get into it?
well, so for our new listeners, okay. So for our new listeners, and this is all available to you in Corey Wayne's book, How to Be a 3% Man, which Anthony and I highly recommend.
Oh, you got to start there. If you don't,
is that the starting book?
You
Anthony?
got to start.
That's the
there.
book they should start with, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we're gonna make sure to mark that right here. We're gonna tell you guys that from now on. The first book you should read is How to Be a 3% Man by Corey Wayne. That's kind of your elementary school education. And as Corey Wayne says, you need to read that book 10 to 15 times. That's going to be the most important book. That's going to be the most important book for your day-to-day life, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Philosophically,
you have to make a change because it requires. When he says reads it 10 to 15 times, he's not playing. There is a discipline to it.
Yeah.
And the reason you do that is because you're reading, you'll be like, damn, okay, yeah, I can make this change. I can do this. This is different than what I was doing. I see where I made my mistakes at. I need to do this differently. Then guess what? You'll get in. You'll get some success, and then guess what? You'll go right back to what you used to do because it's not who you are. Right. It's what you learned.
And then the second time you read it, you're like, oh fuck, I did that. And then sometimes you'll do things just because of habit. You'll be like, oh man, I can't. But the more and more you go out, you'll get a lot better at it. I got sidetracked.
You can speak to it a lot.
Oh, 100. Yeah, we could go deep into that. We should just do a whole podcast.
We'll do a podcast on that.
Corey Wayne's book affected our life, both of our lives individually. Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's a great idea. Let's write that down. So that we can really push forward the importance of that book. But I got sidetracked. What were we talking about? We were talking about women have moved on.
Yeah. After he had an orbiter.
Oh, okay, yes. Orbiters. Male orbiters. Okay, so guys, this is all in the book. So women instinctively, now keep in mind, guys, back when we all lived in caves or lived in tree houses or whatever, keep in mind, guys, women have lower bone density. They have less testosterone. Physically, they are inferior. And when we're not talking about modern civilization. We're talking about where survival was key. Saber-toothed tigers running around, the predators everywhere. Women needed a man, so it would start with her father as a physical protector. Basically, guys, a bodyguard. Okay? They learned right away that, especially when they kind of get in scraps and stuff with other little boys their age, 3 to 4 years old, they realize, okay, I'm not as strong. I need to have my dad around. This is super important. So then they go to the male that they mate with, okay? And that's why, going back to the K Jeweler commercial, that's why the guy would come back and be like, I'm going to ask the dad's permission. Because dad's been protecting her up to this point. So now, I'm going to go ask the dad's permission. Okay, I'm going to take over the protecting. You no longer have to do this. The dad's like, are you worthy? Are you not?
Here's my proof.
Here's my proof. I brought these amazing shells or these skulls of this saber-toothed tiger I killed. Like, look, I can protect your daughter because he loves his daughter.
I've raised donkeys. Here's a donkey.
Here's a water buffalo to help your family.
Right.
This is to thank you for raising this and protecting this woman that I'm going to mate with. Okay? So women know they have to have male protectors. So bring it fast forward. We're still running on this software, guys. We're still the same animals. Okay? So women in a relationship, before they move on, and guys, this isn't about women are evil or women are wrong or whatever. This is how humans as an animal operate. They still want the security and the protection of a man. It's in their instincts. So before they move on, they are going to start to allow male orbiters. Is that more palatable for the audience? The reality of this is they always have male orbiters.
Always.
Guys, my wife loves me, but I know reality. There's male orbiters. Fellas, your ladies will always tell you they don't have male orbiters. 100% of them do. It's in their instinct to keep them around. Okay? If you fucking got hit by a bus tomorrow,
I'm about to say nothing's guaranteed, man.
Nothing's guaranteed. You might run out on them. So they need to have male orbiters. So the reason they're called male orbiters, it's like the woman's the planet. These are moons orbiting around them, right? So the male orbiters are just kind of hanging out. Usually, you don't have to worry about these guys
Right.
because they're simps. Men of value don't typically just hang out and orbit women for years at a time. These are simpy guys, but it gives them validation constantly, which is it's cool. So you being the husband or boyfriend, you don't have to constantly give them validation. So it kind of helps you out indirectly. But it gives them validation, and it makes them feel like, okay, if this dude leaves me, I'm not totally out on my own. Now, you start slipping up, fellas. You gain 100 pounds. You become the sitcom dad that everybody in the house is making fun of. You'll start hearing things from your own children. Oh, Dad! Oh, shut up, Dad! Everyone in the house is making fun of you. Everyone in the house thinks you're stupid. This means you have lost your masculine frame, and now the male orbiters are starting to look a lot better than you. Because you have lost all you're now,
looking like them.
Yeah, you're looking like the male orbiters. You're looking simpy. You got too comfortable in your position. So now she chooses the best male orbiter, and she starts talking to him for I don't know, Anthony. What's a year and a half?
Yeah,
year and a half.
Because it's subtle.
She's got it. Yeah, it's very subtle at first.
Because guess what? When you talk about these orbiters are her
patient.
Sounding,
they're patient, aren't they?
They're sounding board. Because think about it, man. These guys feel like they don't have a lot of options, and this is probably the best looking chick in there wanting to. Because she's not the only one that they're orbiting.
This is weird for us to talk about, isn't it?
Oh man.
Well, no, because the reason, and for our listeners. This is such basic knowledge for Anthony and I that it's kind of like
well.
And guys, not to be insulting if you don't know this,
right.
I didn't swallow the red pill till I was fucking 39 years old or something like that. Maybe 40. I don't know. So I'm not making fun of anyone, but for us, it's almost kind of like we're up teaching ABCs to children, you know, at this point, because this is so obvious to us, but. Again, that's what this podcast is here for. We're here to help you guys.
And we don't know who's listening, but, everyone's on different levels. So try to – I mean, we talked about a lot of things. Some people don't know what a simp is. So,
right.
Well, if we get emails about that, we'll discuss
we'll
that
address
with
them.
you.
Yeah, we'll address them.
So,
but anyways, what we were talking about was about women not caring about these men that are committing suicide, right? Part of me doesn't beat women up that much because we know how they operate. By the way, we're not saying good or bad. This is just how women as creatures operate. They've already moved on to the orbiter. If you don't break up with them, and this is Alpha Male Strategies, check out AMS's YouTube channel if you guys haven't. AMS is like, women won't break up with you. That's his theory. He's like, women won't break up with you. By the time they broke up with you, you have like forced them to break up with you. They have done everything to make you do it. They don't, because women don't like confrontation.
They don't. They're afraid of that. Yeah.
By nature, they don't like confrontation, especially with men. It's very dangerous.
Right.
In their blood, they kind of know, I don't want this confrontation.
I hear that about women all the time. They're afraid of that.
The other thing is, too, they don't want it to be their fault.
Of course not.
That's their arrogance and their nature, okay? So you got two things working. So they don't want it to be their fault. They want to be the victim so that they can go to that male orbit. I can't believe he left me. Oh, my God. So they want all this stuff wrapped up. So they have already called you an asshole. They've called you fat. They've like completely embarrassed you in front of your kids. They've done everything to make you break up with them. So now that you forced them to break up with you, they've already been talking to this male orbiter pretty seriously. And let me tell you, being a guy that has female friends, boy, do they change up when they're nearing divorce, don't they? Anthony, oh my! All of a sudden, they're like, they'll start doing that best friend's wedding thing. They're like, hey, so this didn't work out. So you and I have been friends. So if you and I aren't married in like 5 years, then we should just go ahead and get married, right? And like they're already kind of setting me up like, I need validation. I need to feel like I'm not going to be alone. Like, girl, we've been friends since middle school. Why all of a sudden do you want to go down the lover path with me now?
Here's a telltale sign that you're at the end of your relationship. When she's frustrated with you and she's disrespecting you verbally, and you can tell that she's kind of like treating you like a kid. That's you're on the verge of, she's already, because the disrespect there, if you've allowed it, it's going to continue and get bigger. And she's telling other people about how you're allowing her to disrespect
Anthony,
you.
I'm going to cut in because I want you to finish this thought. But I want to cut in and say, we're not just sitting here bitching and moaning.
No.
Continue listening to this podcast. We will give you strategies how to handle these situations.
Oh,
so
100.
I just wanted to clarify. But go
Yeah,
on, Anthony.
definitely.
I apologize.
That is where when you was well, the reason I wanted to say that is because when you was touching on her talking to the beta orbiter, what is she saying to him? Because you don't know what he's saying to her, but she's saying to him that you're weaker. And
she's wanting him to say that because she already thinks it.
Yes.
Right?
And this is the validate why she's treating you the way she's treating you. You can
even if she does do the dumping, she's still the victim.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's your fault. And what Patrice O'Neal say? Shout out to Patrice O'Neal.
Can we just say Patrice O'Neal is the godfather of this podcast?
Yes.
For sure.
It is your fault.
This podcast does not exist without Patrice O'Neal.
Not at all.
Check out the Black Phillip Show. They have all of those recorded on YouTube. I'm sorry, Anthony.
Go ahead. It is your fault as a man if she starts on this path of disrespect and you don't correct it.
Anthony, will you repeat that? Because I don't want women to think this is the Anthony and Wesley woman-hating show.
It's not at all.
Can you repeat whose fault it is?
It is the man's fault.
It is always our fault, fellas. And if you want to write those emails about how women stink and I'm going MGTOW and I'm... MGTOW men are welcome to this podcast. But if you want me to sit here and blame women for all this, I will not. Anthony will not. It is our fault, fellas. We let it get like this. We let it get like this. Don't worry. We're going to try to fix it with this podcast. We're not going to this podcast can't fix it alone. But we're going to try to do our best to fix it. But fellas, make no mistake, this is not women's fault. Listen, if you put... Oh, man, I got to watch what I say. I was about to say if you put cheese in front of a rat. Oh, so all women are rats now, huh? Because women just can't talk in analogies when it benefits them changing the topic.
For example.
Yeah, for example, using an analogy. If you pour water on something, where the water is going to go, it's always going to go to the path of least resistance, right? Humans are very similar, especially women. Women are, again, when you have a gender, when you have a female lion and a male lion, there is a difference, but not that much a difference. I mean, female lions will fuck some shit up. I mean, they're still athletic creatures. They do most of the hunting for the food.
Yes.
When you talk
it's
about
time
the difference,
to fight, though.
But when you talk about the difference athletically between men and women, humans, huge difference. So women have had to become really, really good at surviving. Now, I mean, now that we have a civilization, not so much. You know, we don't have predators just running around in cities and shit, but we're still in the same software that we were before. What I'm trying to say is women have gotten really, really good at surviving, and their instincts are very, very good. They always have this instinct of having a male protector around. Guys, if you're in a happy marriage, you listen to this podcast, or you have a girlfriend, stuff like that, it's like the soulmate thing. The sooner you learn that there's no such thing as soulmates, the better your life's going to get, so you can understand reality. Same thing here. The sooner you realize your girlfriend, your wife, has male orbiters that are hitting her up in the DMs, that are hitting her up text messaging, I mean, the sooner you realize it exists, the better your life's going to be. Because then you can be like, okay, I know this is out there. Now I can manage it. Putting your head in the sand, acting like it don't exist. And it makes me sad. I mean, because, so Wesley, you're saying your wife has male orbiters? 100% was what I'm saying. 100%.
And what did you say earlier about waking up and making the team?
That's what I'm saying. I got to wake up and make the team. There's other dudes that want my position. They want to come and live in my house. They want to watch my TV. Oh, is anybody out there laughing? Has it happened to any of y'all out there?
Of course.
Are there men that are living in your house watching your TV because you slipped up and you got soft? You didn't make the team? Yeah, man. It's a reality. I mean, Anthony, I've never had to go through that. Can you imagine, like, you have this big house, great TV, couple kids. We have people that listen. This is happening to them. And then you roll up one day. The wife's like, "Yeah, I'm not feeling it. Me and the kid's gonna stay here. You got to go somewhere." Well, where am I gonna go? I don't know. I ain't feeling this marriage though. You move out. You get a little apartment. So you're living in a shittier place than the place you lived in before. Then it happens one day. Wife dates, because she's getting child support, perhaps alimony from you. The pool boy got promoted. He's now the boyfriend.
My favorite movie, one of my favorite top movies of all time, is Heat. Al Pacino.
It's a great movie.
Remember
Val Kilmer's character?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
When Al Pacino, he was the cop, right? Remember
Yeah.
his wife? Remember they used to have steaming hot sex in the beginning of the show? He comes in, old dude sitting in the kitchen. I think she's cooked for him and everything.
Yeah.
He's watching TV on this little small TV. Al Pacino comes in. He was like, "Oh, okay." And he was like, "So he's in. He's here. Okay." He said, "That's fine. You can eat." He said, "Look, you can eat my food. You can fuck my wife." But he takes the TV, snatches it out of the wall. You can't watch my fucking TV.
You can't watch my TV, man.
Can't watch my fucking TV, right? So, yes, man, you can be an alpha male and still get fucked over.
Yeah, you can.
You
get
can
caught
be
slipping.
rich.
Joe Montana got caught slipping. Had to go to the Chiefs. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean this is reality.
Yeah. Steve Young.
Fellas, that's why I'm trying to tell you, soulmates not existing. That's good for us. It's good for women too.
Yeah.
By the way, women already been knowing this.
Yes, they know.
Women move on very easy. Again, I'm not saying they're evil. They're survivors. They're like, look, this dude's slipping up. He didn't make the team. It was a tough decision. Fellas, your life is like an episode of Hard Knocks. You get called into the office. Hey, you had a great camp. We're going to go in another direction. Yeah. All right. Well, coach has got your stuff packed up from your locker. It's right outside. It's already it's already in a bag.
Yeah. Turn your playbook in.
Yeah. And in that analogy, people like Patrick Mahomes, people like Tom Brady, people like Tyreek Hill, those people in society are like Drake, Jay-Z, Idris Elba.
Yeah, they making the squad.
Who's the guy that played Robert Downey Jr.? Like those are the guys. They don't have to worry about making the team.
Not at all.
They live a life of abundance, fellas. The rest of us, we got to wake up and make the team every single day. Do not get caught slipping, because sir, this isn't a He-Man woman hatings club. This is reality. It is your fault. Now, let's not be completely. Man, I feel like we were very pro women on that segment.
We were. No. What it boils down to.
Were we too pro women?
No,
the women are like. The women already tuned out.
Oh yeah, they gone
after the K Jeweler commercial. So
they gone.
I don't think they were here to hear their accolades of how it's not their fault.
It was the underlying underlying explanation of the things that are happening to you, or you do have control of them. Mm-hmm. So it's not blaming her for the problems that you're having. Like you said, she's doing what comes natural to her because it was something that you was not doing to make the team that day. It wasn't just one day though. It was
Anthony, I'm so glad you brought that up because I missed that point. Yeah. I'm sorry, I cut in again, but you're right. It's like you didn't do it one day, brother. And these guys that are out here And again, MGTOW guys are always welcome to this podcast, always welcome to listen. But it's like, I think sometimes the MGTOW guys would have you think like, she just bumped into a guy at Starbucks who made $10,000 more a year than me, and female hypergamy took over, and she dumped me just to get $10,000 more a year. It's like, come on, bruh. Reality says you were slipping for a whole season. Shall we say it like that? Yeah, you played bad over a whole season. They didn't cut you after one bad game. You know,
No.
They didn't cut you after one bad game.
I have an affinity for MGTOW because before I went to Red Pill,
Anthony,
MGTOW
would you
was
explain
my
to the
basis.
listeners what MGTOW is? Because I feel like we're talking over.
Okay, MGTOW, if you don't know, is men going their own way.
Acronym.
And for me, and I think I relate to them more because I think the men that said that they're going their own way are deciding that relationships aren't going to be a priority in their life.
And I think a lot of them are saying it's not worth it.
What you would hear if you listen to MGTOW talk, the juice is not worth the squeeze. You would hear that a lot. It's like the I've done this before. I've been through this. She left me. I left her. Whatever it was, it didn't work out. I lost everything. I need to focus on me now, and if by focusing on me, it's without women. So I'm not gonna live my life to get a woman. I'm not gonna get a house to get a woman. I'm not gonna get a car to get a woman. I'm not gonna get a job to get a woman. I'm gonna do these things for me and what makes me happy. So that's men going their own way. It's not necessarily a we talk about female hating group. It's not that. It's just that they decided their relationships is not for them, and they're not gonna go. They're not gonna. This not gonna be something they're gonna include in their life. But it doesn't mean that they hate women. They're not gonna have sex with women. They're not gonna date women to the point where they're gonna be in a relationship with a woman.
Yeah, and I think the waters get really muddied. Donovan Sharp pointed this out recently in his YouTube show. He pointed out that the waters really get muddied because a lot of incels will identify as MGTOW. An incel, a true incel, to me is, and this is why it makes me feel terrible for these troops that come back missing a limb and stuff like that. True incels to me are, and I'm not saying troops are incels. Don't quote me saying the troops are incels. God dang, man, the internet's so tricky these days. But no, I mean, an incel being like someone that he's involuntary celibate.
Correct.
Let me just say that. Incel means involuntary celibate. So he's celibate, but he wants to be having sex. So this could be someone, top of the list would be someone with like a physical deformity. And you feel sorry for this guy. Had some sort of accident, or he was born this way.
Came in last in the genetic pool.
Yeah.
Nothing his fault.
Yeah. It could be someone with a deformity or some sort of condition. That's why I talk about the troops that come back, mutilated from being in an explosion or something like that. The thing that people don't realize with those troops, and we put troops up on a pedestal sometimes, and you and I are both prior service people, so we're kind of above that. Like sometimes we put up troops up on a pedestal a little. Like they haven't really earned it,
right?
But man, when it comes to people that have been injured in combat and things like that, they paid the ultimate price because they're probably not going to get the wife they want in a lot of circumstances. Now, listen, guys,
there's guys that
do.
Yeah,
there's just guys that are just badass mofos. Their game is so tight. They're in a wheelchair
with no legs.
Donovan Sharp specifically was talking about one of the people he coaches. Did you hear about that? He was and I don't know what branch of service he was in, but he's in a wheelchair, and he was like, he's trying to kind of get his life back together and get his confidence back because he's been injured. Dude has a girlfriend. Like, The girl thing wasn't a problem. He's
Right.
got other areas of confidence, and of course that affects his relationship. But dude had a girlfriend, so Donovan Sharp was pointing out, not even he is an incel, But we're talking about guys who have physical disadvantages. But then there's incels that are like guys that are, man, they just ate themselves to 400 pounds, So they're involuntary celibate and they're mad, but
Yeah.
bruh, this was kind of on you.
Yeah.
And these guys will tend to lean into the MGTOW movement like, yeah, I'm going my own way. It's like,
Nah.
you're not going your own way, brother. You're just, you never had a choice. Like, but yeah, I mean, Anthony, because MGTOW is going to come up on our show a lot. Feel free to jump in and correct me on that because I'm becoming a lot more educated on that community because it's very interesting. These are guys that are typically, like you said, they typically have been in a relationship, got screwed over in the courts or something, don't have access to their kids, pay a shit ton of money into them. They're like, well, what do I pay money to? I mean, I want my kids to be well off, but I also want to fucking see them. These are my kids,
Exactly.
So these are your MGTOW guys. I can't remember why we got on MGTOW.
Oh, you was talking about red pill. But when you said the MGTOW guys what you really was meaning incels.
Yeah.
But so man, this is the manosphere language when we talk about these different acronyms and terms, and you can kind of get lost up into what the words are and what they mean. But
Yeah, to you guys that know these words already,
yes, yeah,
we're just trying to be sensitive to the first-time person. Most people are going to see #RedPill by our podcast. These are people that are going to come over from Donovan Sharp and AMS and Corey Wayne. And so sorry if it sounds kindergarten to you guys, but this is information that does need to get out there. I mean, especially, Anthony, man, you bringing up the soulmate thing I think is so important because that's one that I never hear talked about, and it's a huge part of Rollo Tomasi's book, The Rational Male.
yeah.
In the very, very beginning. That book, man, I listened to it. I just got finished with it a week ago. I'm about to go through it again. It's to warn you guys out there that go to listen to it, it's very dense. A lot of the words are very dense words. They're, what do they call them, $10 words?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm going to have to listen to it again so I could feel like I really grabbed it. But when they talked about no soulmate, that was a pretty difficult pill for me to swallow, was the no soulmate thing, because we just kind of think soulmates exist. And to your point,
We've been
Anthony,
programmed for that, yeah.
man, we got a whole machine that's training us for that. And to your point, man, we could avoid a lot of this male suicide if we could just get the word out there. Look, dude, that does not exist.
It's a fantasy.
Yeah. I mean, that does not exist.
It's a fantasy to sell jewelry and other things because we are the suckers who are out here buying this shit.
Yeah.
So if you feel like this is, you say, if you're not gonna buy some real expensive gift for some regular chick you're dating, you'll buy that for your soulmate,
Right.
right?
You're not just proposing to her.
Your world.
You're proposing to her world.
I hate
Anthony, I can't even with that commercial, man. Dude, I oh my God. That commercial, the more it just kind of, I sit here and kind of, especially when we started talking about male suicide and stuff like that, the more I sit there and stew on that. And people think, and they wouldn't be wrong. So to you ladies that are going to write in about, what's the problem with that commercial? You're right. It's not that bad. It just as a commercial. What's wrong about it is everything that's going to come after it. When this becomes the social norm to go to a child asking permission for the most important... Anthony's covering his face right now. The most important decision, go to a child. This happened to me. So for our listeners, this happened to me in my life.
Wait, what?
Yes, it did. Okay, so my father, before he married my stepmother, he came to me, and let me tell you the turmoil this has caused in my adult life. By the way, we're starting to GoFundMe for me to get a psychiatrist I can talk to over this issue. No, but seriously, my father came to me when I was 5 years old, and he's like, "Hey, very, very much like the K Jeweler commercial. Hey, thinking about asking Sharon to marry me, but I'm not going to do it unless you're okay with it." And I'm a 5-year-old, and all I want to do, my father is my hero. My father is He-Man to me. All I want to do is please this guy. And I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, she seems really nice." Fast forward, from the moment he told me that, fast forward 6 months, the physical abuse that I get from this lady is no child should have to go through this. Went through physical abuse all through, until I left home when I had to leave home because the household got so violent at 16 years old. So left home at 16 years old. And a lot of times I would go back to that moment all through my childhood, like 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old. I would go back to that moment in my childhood. I'd be like, man, what if I'd have just told my father, "No, Dad, I don't want you to marry her." Now, we know as adults,
Yeah.
that would not have mattered.
He did what he wanted to do anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I had that thing on me as a 9-year-old, as a 10-year-old, as an 11-year-old. Like, what if I'd have just... You see what I'm saying, Anthony? You see... Now you
False.
see
Yeah.
how dangerous this commercial is?
Yeah. It's
You
false.
Because it's just not real life. Mm-hmm. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, you're very magical about that. You were breaking down scenarios in that commercial earlier that were like, then you got this, then you got that, then you got this. And most people are going to roll their eyes and be like, "Oh, come on, it's just a commercial. Anthony, relax.
It's not that serious.
It's not that serious." No, it's very serious because it changes our culture and it changes
100.
what's normal.
Yes.
And it
Yes.
changes what we think reality is. Because it's not just grown people who know that commercial's fucking bullshit. It's not just them watching it. You got 9-year-olds watching it. You got 15-year-olds watching it. You got 24-year-olds watching it, men and women. And they're like, okay, this is the new reality. This is how life should be because it sounds sweet and it was wrapped up in a little bow. And this is now the new reality. And then that leads to all the kind of shit we were talking about before with men's suicide. I mean, men's suicide rate and breakup is... I would Google it and look up the numbers for our listeners, but that's just too depressing.
Yeah.
We're not trying to go down that road. But I do think that it's a great compass to show us how serious it is when we don't talk about reality.
Right.
When we live life through these
We can't pretend it don't exist.
Disney lenses. We were talking about, I just brought up Disney. And I find this really, really interesting. And I have to give my wife credit for this. We were talking about living life through a Disney lens, Anthony. And we were talking about Disney movies. And because I beat up on Disney a lot, and you're probably going to hear me say the whole Disney thing. I want to be fair to all parties here. She brought up a movie that is a movie about an alpha male's journey. And it's going to surprise you what movie I bring up. She brought up the movie Bambi. Holy hell. This is the greatest Disney movie. You know how Disney movies are just like... Now, mind you, it's an older Disney movie. But Disney movies are just like warm and they're unrealistic as fuck. And women are just as good as men. And Mulan can beat up dudes. And it's just fucking stupid. Man, Bambi is the greatest Disney movie ever. Now hear me out, listeners. Because you heard Bambi, you're thinking about this little baby deer and shit. So check this out, Anthony. This is a real alpha male's journey. Starts out as this cute little fawn. He makes buddies with Thumper. He's got that one friend that is sort of like Bruh Man from Martin. That little skunk. Motherfucker smells bad. Always fucking shit up. But he has these buddies, and he's just kind of living life, and it's great. He's a kid. Mom gets killed with a gun. Holy shit. Shit got real.
Quick.
Shit got real. And then it's like he's got to fucking fend for himself. Then the motherfucker grows up. Wait, Should we have done a spoiler alert for this, Anthony?
Come on. You ain't singing Bambi, man. Get your life.
Look, this is this is an official spoiler alert for Bambi, by the way. Just go ahead and pause it now. But so he grows up, gets these antlers, meets this chick, and if you go back and you visit that movie, it goes full on like alpha. Like he meets this girl deer, and this one dude wants to just mate with her. And it's very subtle the way they do it, but she's like, Bambi, Bambi, and the male's like, I'm gonna put you over here with my antlers. I'm gonna put you over here because we're about to mate, and it's very, very subtle. The adults know what's going on. And then Bambi has to beat this dude in a fight, and this whole time, the whole movie, he's been seeing like, back when he was a kid, he sees with his mom like this big giant deer that watches over all the people in the meadow, like this badass stag that's up on the hill, and the mother implies to him when he's, well, that's your dad, man. That's the alpha. That's who your dad is. That's who I fucked. And so he has this moment where Bambi, and he's like, oh, I got to fight for the right to hang out with this chick. Fights the other deer, wins. And like goes on, and I think there's a fire. I can't remember the movie.
Yeah, I remember the fire.
There's some kind of fire or something. Yeah. They get through it, and this dude goes through this terrible, hard life. But he has this female deer that he won in combat, and then at the end of the movie, he steps up to that hill, and his dad steps down. That's a great alpha male story. So as much as I make fun of Disney, Anthony, Jesus, Bambi is gangster as fuck, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you talk about lessons in triumph and being able to accomplish something after you go through, some tribulations. That I think what
can't like what go back to those kind of movies.
What we talked about, we say, man, the men before us has failed us, man, and
well, they were living high on the hog.
Yeah,
that's why. They were taking advantage of shit. They were using their power in unscrupulous ways. Again, path of least resistance. That's why the feminist movement had to happen, because the men before us, they were also very checked out. I don't know how your father was. My father came home from work. It was like the mother ran the house, and the dad just went to work. And when he came home from work, he just wanted to sit down on the couch and watch wrestling. That was, and then some men, dad's not even there. I mean, it was kind of like my dad wasn't there, but I admired him from afar. But yeah, you're right. I mean, just totally failed us. There's not my father was not as involved in my life as I am in my godchildren's life, and they live on the other side of Houston. See him once a week. But I'm very involved. Like, all right, what's going on? So they got they're doing soccer this year. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Because I think we all agree. We now know it takes a village to raise these fucking kids, especially with technology. I mean, Jesus Christ. But you're right, man. Males, the generation before us, kind of failed us, right?
This is why we feel we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
Because, of course, our opinions are not popular. They're not easily digestible. And a lot of people are going to be turned off by the bluntness and the what we call the red pill effect to what we're only offering the truth, and it comes from a perspective that you were not taught, so it's different. It's different for you, and so when it goes against everything that you thought was real or true, it's uncomfortable, and that's from both men and women's perspective. It's uncomfortable to hear, and it almost feels like you're trolling, or you're making it up, or you're trying to get likes, It's not that at all. The thing is that there's another way, and there's another option to be happy, and it's not falling in line to what society says you have to do to be happy in your life. And when you go outside of the realm, or when you step out of line, and because we're all single file in the line, and they're saying, hey, go to college, get in debt.
Make sure to go get $76,000 in college debt to get a job for $40,000.
Exactly. You're gonna be paying that. You're gonna have to pay that off. You gotta get a house, so you gotta pay that off. Meanwhile, you're gonna buy 3, 4, 5 cars within your lifetime to pay them off. Get married. Yeah, because you gotta pay that wedding off.
The new cars you buy, they don't last very long.
Not at all.
So we've just made them disposable. So you always gotta buy new cars.
I've already rambled off about 5 lifetime debt things you're gonna be in. Like you're gonna be in debt, paying off a lot of things. What we call these a consumer whore. Like we have to buy, and we're responsible for buying so much shit for, quote unquote, the way you're supposed to be happy in America. Mm-hmm. You have to have these things, and that's where the pressure from men comes on. It's on your shoulders to be able. You have to do this, or you're not a man. You have to. You have to have these things, or you're not a man enough to have a woman. And it's just not true. It's just not true in the sense that the only way to be happy is to fall in line and get in debt up to your ears, be the soul bearer, and be the only one responsible for holding the family up, keeping everything together. And if you do fail, then you're still responsible for the family that said that they don't want you anymore. Or someone's forcing your kids away from you, or they say, I don't want you anymore. I found someone better who can do better. Who actually, guess what? They don't have kids. They was able to get. They didn't have to stick with the job that they had just to keep food on the table. They was able to do extra time at work, or they was able to go to school longer, and they was able to get a better job. So now she's saying, you know what? Thanks for what you've done, but you're not doing enough. And God forbid, health concerns happen to you. You get hurt somehow, and you're unable to do what you was able to do. Hypergamy says you're irreplaceable.
Yeah, and I mean, Jesus Christ! I mean, you just laid out a perfectly orated palette of the external things that are affecting men's lives. The last thing you can do is not take control of your relationships. I mean, that's
one
of the only things you have control over.
And that's the basics. And this is where women's gonna disagree. But I don't give a fuck. Men, stop letting her dictate how the relationship is. She chose you. Women are the gateway to sex, and they are the gateway to you extending your DNA further along on this planet.
But they are not in charge.
But they're not in charge.
They don't want to be in charge.
And they don't. They don't.
And by the way, and this is going to ruffle a lot of feathers, they also don't want to be 50-50.
Nope.
They want a man that's going to, and I know, guys, I know this is not what you've heard.
I was a 50-50 guy.
Oh man,
yep.
we all wanted to be that 50-50 guy, and that's how a lot of us got divorced.
Yep.
No, you are in charge. You are in charge. That doesn't mean if your wife is just, she works accounting at some major law firm or something, and she wants to be really involved with the finances. Man, hold on, man. She's just talented at finances. Yeah, use that resource for sure. You don't have to be totally in control of everything, but you better have your hands in that pie. You better know what's going on, and you better lead your house. I mean, man, Anthony, this is a great segue into the extreme language that we use. So you'll say, I remember Patrice O'Neal was talking about how he's like the dog whisperer, and the girl, oh, so you saying all women are dogs? Okay, and that's the extreme language we hear when like we say men need to lead the household. Men need to lead. So you saying women are just servants? It's not what we said, man. The kids ain't even servants. Let me tell you, ladies, because Anthony and I had a perfect analogy to this. Both of us prior service. So the man is the general, or Anthony was Navy. The man is the admiral. The woman is the captain, or if you use in Army terms, woman's a colonel. You know how many people want to be captain and colonel? You know how hard it is to become captain and colonel in the armed forces?
Extreme.
It's extreme. Some people retire 2 ranks below it.
Right.
So, woman, you got promoted to colonel. I'm the general. What is wrong with that? You got promoted to colonel. You had to be really smart. You got to be really organized. You really got to be really on top of shit before a man decided, you know what? I want to marry you. I want to have kids with you. You're the colonel. It's not I'm the general, you're the private at the very, very bottom.
Right.
It's not how. No household can be run like that, man. Get out of here with that. Okay?
Yeah, we
You
into
got
slavery.
promoted to colonel. What is wrong with that? This 50-50 bullshit. You can't. No company, Anthony, lets everybody have the same amount of power.
No.
No company in the world is run like that. The company is run where someone's in charge, then he's got his executive leadership in place, and they got managers below them, and it goes down. And then you got all the way down to the entry-level employee that is janitorial or whatever, you know? And everybody's important. Everyone's vital. So really and truly, don't dog on the privates or the janitors or any of those people either. They're vital to the importance of the operation. But everybody can't be in charge. And it ain't 50-50. No. The man is in charge. And ladies, I know you want 50-50. Check it out. The minute it becomes 50-50, something instinctive is going to happen inside you.
Yep.
It's called female hypergamy, by the way. Something instinctive is going to happen inside you. You're going to be like, man, this dude just lets me do 50-50. I want to get with, like, Future and date him a little bit. Future would never let me do this.
Oh my gosh.
I'm using the Future Sierra example. Anthony's already laughing. Yeah, Future is the guy Sierra had the baby with, but she got with someone simpier and married him. I'm not going to mention his name, Russell Wilson. But anyways, he was having an amazing season, by the way. I shouldn't make fun. But no, ladies, you are not going to be happy if you are not submissive to your man. It's not happy for you.
See, go walk that back. Women, you are not going to be happy. Okay? So he's not saying...
I'm saying the women are not going to be happy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you need to be 50-50 with your man, ladies, guess what? You don't trust your man very much.
Not at all.
Nope. Because let me tell you.
Oh, they hate that word submit. Oh.
Yeah, we should stay. We talked about before this podcast to stay away from the words alpha and beta.
Yeah.
Because they're just... You start other conversations. They're just such hot button words. Submissive is a word we should probably try to steer clear of. What's a better word that's more palatable for women?
Oh, man.
I don't know.
Compliant?
No, because I think that's worse. Compliant is worse. Submissive, I thought, was better because it lends itself to, like, some women have sexual fantasies of being more submissive, and they can kind of relate it to that. I don't know. But let's go back to our analogy of colonel and general. The colonel's not submissive to the general. The general comes in, he's like, hey, colonel, you've been in this situation before.
Yeah, there's trust in that.
What do you think? There's trust and equity with both parties, right? The general's not talking to a private, some idiot 17-year-old just went out of basic training.
Man,
Like,
I'm gonna let you finish because I'll see if you're gonna go there. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm just like, there's trust and equity on both parts. Hey, Colonel, what do you think here, man? Do we need air support? Well, last time this happened in Desert Storm, here's what we did. And the general's like, oh, okay, cool. What'd this other colonel say? All right. Well, I've taken all that into account. Now I will make my decision.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
He can take what you say and still do the opposite. It doesn't mean
he disrespects the colonel.
At all.
Yeah. But the colonel knows if the general doesn't make the right decision, hey, man, I told you.
Right.
And they don't have to nag and say I told you so and none of that bullshit. But that's a bad game you had during a season where you're trying to make the team. You know.
But the colonel isn't trying to take the admiral's job if he does make a mistake. Come on.
No.
He's not.
Or he would have never been the general's right-hand guy.
Right.
He's like, I need someone loyal. I need someone that's not going to try to mutiny on me. I need a real partner here because war is very serious. There's lives at stake. There's a whole thing going on.
Is there room for you to make mistakes in your relationship? Like, is there some, like when you especially like you're discussing something, let's say you say, hey babe, I want to invest this money into this and I think it's going to do this for us. And the reason I think this way is because ABC, this is you go through all that, right? And she was like, no, I don't think we should. And you say, you know what, I take what you're saying, but I think we should. I'm going to do it anyway. And
I feel like you're leading people astray a little bit, Anthony. See, I've noticed during this podcast, you've tried to make things a little more palatable for people. No, which I appreciate. This is episode 1.
Okay. I told you I would scale it back. I said I would scale it back.
I noticed. And hey, by the way, I think our message should be palatable.
Yeah.
You know? I think sometimes I come in hard and then you come in softer and then you come in hard, I come in soft. I think it's a good balance. But immediately my hairs went up on my back coming in like, hey, babe, I think we should. Like, to me, the general's going to come in and be like, hey, we're investing in this.
Well, you're talking about men talking to men.
You're right. But
Come on.
But I think it's a great analogy because men don't just clown their girlfriends and wives. That's not how men treat them. But they can still be assertive and, masculine and be like, come in, but hey, I'm going to invest in this company like you were saying. Well, blah, 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 blah. You know what? You sound emotional. I came to you, give you an opportunity to give me some input. You're just being emotional. I'll take care of this myself. Versus if you are a true colonel or captain,
yeah,
you can be like, well, cool. My thoughts are this. Now, I know you're going to do whatever you want to do because you're the leader here in this family. But my thoughts are this. Now, the girl that's bitching and moaning, nagging and complaining versus the girl that's like, I know you're going to do what you're going to do, but here are my thoughts. Which girl gets heard more, Anthony?
The latter. Yeah, 100.
The latter, 100%. 100%. Ladies, these are hacks that are free for you to use. That are free for you to use.
Free nuggets of wisdom. Go ahead and chew on those.
Yeah. And, you get promoted to colonel, ladies. From a true man who is masculine and who has choices of other women. Now, ladies, I know what's going on out there in the current world. This is not your fault. There's a lot of simpy men out there. And sometimes you realize you got promoted to colonel, and you got promoted to colonel in the Iraqi army. where the general's like, Colonel, you make all the decisions, so when shit goes wrong, this is your fault.
Right.
Right? Ladies, don't
Women
worry.
aren't
don't worry, Anthony and I know those guys are out there.
Yeah.
Anthony and I would even argue those are most men. Yeah. Unfortunately.
97% of them.
Yeah. Yeah, to Corey Wayne's point, and that's why his book is called How to Be a 3% Man. 97% of those men are going to be simpy like that. So yes, ladies, it's not your fault. But if you can train yourself to be a good colonel before you join the army, man, you've got you're a leg up on your competition, ladies.
This is one of the things, man, that it's such a delicate balance. We've talked about it being the man's fault in these things. Also, too, you talk about a woman that believes that she's trained herself up to be a colonel, a good colonel. You have to be able to understand which admiral you're gonna link yourself up with as well.
Ooh, you just cut me to the bone with that one, Anthony. That is a damn good point, man. Ladies, man, Anthony, can you repeat that for the ladies that listen to this, please? No, I'm serious. That was such a good.
How good you lift yourself up to be a great colonel is just as important to know the admiral or general you're going to link yourself up with as well. You have to have a
man, that's such a good point. Because this is what, again, Anthony, we just said 97% of men are in this feminist culture doing all this weird shit. They're getting down on one knee, proposing. They're asking kiddos for permission. They're doing all this simpy stuff. And then these poor women, they become colonels in that man's army. And they're like, well, this motherfucker, God damn, he's weak.
Well,
like,
and guess what? He's still an admiral, right? And you're seeing that he is not actually a strong leader. And you're like, you know what? I'm a good colonel. Let me get in there and let me show him that this is the way it should go. And you're thinking he's going to just pick up where you left off and take over from there.
Well, I mean, even more to the point, Anthony, a good colonel is going to be like, somebody's got to do this.
Right.
Shit.
I don't blame. That's what I said. I don't blame a woman.
It's fault, man.
I don't blame the woman for doing it. If he's weak and he don't know how to lead, hey, I was him before.
Me too. Yeah.
I was that guy. I didn't know shit. I didn't know how to lead, and I knew how to lead myself. Hey, I was a football captain, a basketball captain. You know, in track, I was one of the fastest guys. I was looked up by men, but when it came to women, I didn't. I took the simpish 50-50. She's just that her opinion is just as important as my opinion. What she wants is just as important as what I want. But guess what? When it came down to it, I had a woman tell me, I don't want to always have to make a decision. I want...
Well, that was you're talking about a woman who is very in touch with her own emotions. Most women don't know that they
that's
don't
what it is. They don't know that's what it is.
They don't know, I don't want to make decisions. They want to get in there and Michelle Obama. You know, it's just... It's not a knock on Michelle Obama, but it's just I'm making fun of the song, not the person. But anyways, they want to get in there and because Michelle Obama is not an example. Michelle Obama is an example of a great colonel. To be honest, that's a woman that dresses classy but super attractive. No time when Barack Obama was president did she ever get out of pocket and do some crazy shit and get attitude and none of that. She was a great colonel, man.
Yeah.
Great colonel. But like most women are not in touch with the fact that they don't want to lead. They want to be the colonel. They don't want to be the general. Because once they're general, they're like, well, I'm a 1-star general. And this is what female hypergamy is. I'm a 1-star general. I don't want to date
below
me.
Nah.
I want to date a 5-star general.
5-star.
And there's only one 5-star general in the whole
in the
army.
entire. Yes, is only one. If you're not familiar with the military,
there's only one. There's only one dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what women are not. They're not self-aware that like that's not what they want. However, using the military analogy, Anthony, because you just said a second ago, you were like, well, how she feels is just as important as me. Okay, using the military analogy, because what most women are going to come and say, like, oh, so how women feel don't matter? Okay, if you're military, you'll understand how privates feel, how sergeants feel, how captains, lieutenants feel, how colonels feel. It's important, but it's not more important than how I feel. You know why? Because I'm responsible for all these people and their lives.
Yep.
So how I feel is the most important because I've got the responsibility of leading this shit. And I got all these people's lives are in my hands. Man, I never realized how great this military analogy is till we just started talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Because we're not saying that how these other soldiers feel is not important. What we are saying is nothing's more important than the general, because this motherfucker became general because he knows all this shit. He knows what's really going on out there. He knows he's the strong male that is having to bring in the money. He probably makes the most money in the household. He probably knows we should invest in this house and not in that one, and this one and this one. I mean, he knows all this shit. And by the way, if the family fails, it ain't on the woman. It's on the man.
100.
And if you're a real man in this world that we live in 2019, you know that.
Exactly.
We're in a marriage. It's all about the power's 50-50. When the family when the house gets foreclosed on, boy, it wasn't 50-50 then, was it?
No.
That's the man. That's the man.
And how do you sound as a man talking about,
Well, it was 50-50,
yo,
Anthony.
Yeah. We lost this house equally. Damn it.
Right. We lost this house equally. Look, everyone gets a choice. When we asked our 9-year-old, should we move here? He was like, no, Daddy. I like walls that are yellow, and this house has no walls that are yellow.
Right.
So we didn't move here.
Yeah.
Instead, we moved. Yeah. Motherfucker. Get out of here with that. I mean, what is wrong, ladies, with just being colonel? Colonel. One step below general. What's wrong with it? And if you ask yourself the question honestly, you would say to yourself, I don't want to date, marry, or be with anyone that's the same rank as me. I want someone that's just one notch above. Now, I also understand it's your nature to always be testing to see if we really are that rank.
Oh, here we go.
And it's annoying.
We don't have no time to cover that.
That's another podcast. Men getting shit tests is a whole nother podcast. And Anthony, we need to do like a big segment on shit tests for our viewers. Sorry, I keep saying viewers. For our listeners that don't know what shit tests are, this is where women will test men to be like, okay, you seem confident. You seem cool as fuck.
Are you really?
But are you really?
Yeah.
I'm going to throw you some curves. I'm going to see. And women don't consciously
It's not
sit
conscious,
around.
exactly.
Women don't have meetings at the Y being like, hey, we're going to go over shit tests. How are we going to do this?
Right.
Women instinctively do this to test men to see, are they really what they're portraying? And we should do a whole segment over the shit tests we get.
Yeah. Because insecurity can look like masculinity.
100%.
Yeah.
Because, what's that guy that looks like he's alpha, but he's insecure?
Tim.
So he's very controlling. Yeah. And then women are like, oh my God. And that's how they end up in these weird.
I said Tim because we didn't touch on this, but we are.
Oh, hold on. That's what I was just getting to.
Okay.
Anthony, great segue. Fantastic segue. Because we're coming towards the end of the podcast, and we had some things that we wanted to tease. Anthony, our favorite show, do you want to tell the listeners about it?
Sure. 90 Day Fiance.
Such a good show.
It is a reality show, which we may just do separate podcasts for that because it's so.
I think we're gonna have to. I mean, even if we just did an hour podcast, Anthony.
Yeah.
It would be so entertaining.
It's so much content. I don't know. I don't know if hours enough, but it's so much content.
I love where your head's at. You're like, I don't know if an hour's long enough.
There's so much content that we can get from that show alone. If you're not familiar with it, it's on TLC.
Tell them the premise of the show.
So
we can get them watching it too, because it's so good.
It's a reality show. I'm not even a reality show guy, but
neither am I.
But it is so good. I love watching human behaviors and analyzing the psychology of people.
Which is really
So-
the core of this podcast. Right?
Yes.
Is human behavior and how men and women react with one
Exactly.
another. And
Exactly.
Then, oh, man. I'm sorry. I interrupted.
So watching this show. The premise of it is that men or women have gone overseas or they fall in love online with someone overseas, and they have to get a K-1 visa, which is a 90-day visa that you can get for someone that you're in a relationship with. And once they come
You're
over,
explaining this so well. Like, it seems like, man, I didn't even know about all this.
once they come over, you have 90 days to marry this person. If you don't marry them, they have to go back to their country, okay? And so you're looking at the behaviors and the conversations and everything that go through that. So, yeah, we definitely going to talk about that show.
That is one of the big teasers that we have. I think we're going to have to do a separate podcast for that. Because just watching the interaction between, man, if you guys are not sold on this show, because Anthony just gave you guys a good description. This is a great show about seeing how people, they're trying to hack the game. They can't get anybody in their own neighborhood or city or country in this case. So they think they're going to hack the game. Like some of the men on there will be like, all right, well, I'm going to go to a third world country where women are really poor and I make a decent living of $33,000 a year. So I'm going to... I'm going to go ahead and hack the system, and I'm going to bring over this beautiful girl from Vietnam and who's living in poverty, and I'm going to bring her over. And you see that these people, they can't escape themselves. All the shit, all the simp stuff that they do over here, I'm talking about the men, of course, all the simp stuff that the men do over here in the United States, they do it over there inevitably. By the way, you know what's crazy about that? And this should make you guys want to watch the show even more. Man, the simp stuff you do in the United States, it looks 100 times simpier in other countries where none of this bullshit simpy feminist culture exists.
And the women call it out. Every time.
Oh my God, they call it like, how come you're not being more manly?
Yes.
What the hell? And it's just,
and they're from a third world country.
That's why it's such a great red pill show.
Man,
I know Donovan Sharp on his show. He loved watching The Bachelor, but dude, this show is so much better because you just get to sit back and watch the interaction, and you're like, wow, they really can't do better than this. The other thing that we were going to tease was. We're going to do a podcast here really soon. If anybody... Excuse me. I'm feeling a little bit sick, guys. If anybody here is in the Facebook group that Anthony and I are in, 30 Plus the Renaissance, is that... Yeah. That's the name of the group. So anybody in there has seen me talk about the woman's argument tree. This is how women get to, quote-unquote, win arguments in their own minds, and only in their own minds, by the way. They get to win arguments with one of the number one is not all women are like that, and and so on and so on. You don't know me, and so on. They don't talk about the subject material. They go into these ironclad, bulletproof arguments that used to work when they were young because everybody wanted to fuck them, and now that they're older and past their prime, people are like, "Look, dude, you're not talking about the subject matter at all." So that's coming. We're going to be doing a woman's argument tree podcast. Anthony, it's taken us a lot of years to get to this point, man.
Well, we did it, man.
Man, I know. It feels good. It feels good.
Yeah.
This is our first podcast. Were we a little all over the place? I apologize for nothing. That's what every one of these podcasts is going to be like. We try to put down 4 important things for you guys so that we do have a few good points that we think you guys need to know about. But that's the reason we call this the Red Pill Phone Tap, is because these are the conversations Anthony and I have 3 or 4 or 7 times a week.
Right. Right.
So it's like I mean, we wanted you guys to, if you guys are taking the red pill, thinking about taking the red pill, digesting the red pill, we wanted you guys to feel like y'all could be involved in these conversations and be part of it.
Give them the email address one more time.
4 seconds left.
Let's get the email. Let's get the email address out to them one more time.
redpillphonetap@gmail.com. And man, I'm just kind of glad that we were able to finally get this out.
Yeah,
It feels good.
it does. It does.
Sound quality is going to get better. Interactive quality is going to get better. We're going to be able to eventually have you guys call in. We're going to be able to eventually have you guys in the chat. We appreciate everybody that joined in. I hope this helped one person.
Share it. Hey, you see somebody or know somebody that could benefit from this conversation, or if it's just you think we're funny or we're full of shit, hey, share it.